Hello, welcome to my channel. It's me, Jess. I haven't done this in a while. I was just so nervous and then I just made myself hit the button. I took 1 week off and I'm like, oh gosh, what do I do? Hello, welcome. I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you guys for being patient with me about last week. And today we have a lovely, juicy reading about the third party. And if you've listened to my channel for any length of time, you know I typically don't do third party readings. My take on it is like if the third party energy comes up in a reading that I will read on it, but I don't necessarily go seeking it out. But I made a list of reading topics, and during the time that I was making that list, the third party energy was coming up so strong in the readings, and I just felt like I should put this reading on the list. And now that it's come up and it's its turn, I feel like we're just going to go with it. So hopefully this is helpful. Maybe somebody has been curious about this, or Spirit just knows that this reading will be helpful. But we'll go ahead and take a look into this third party. And of course, you know, I feel like you should make tarot work for you. I feel like it's a very personalized kind of a thing. And so I'm going to primarily read that these are romantic third parties, but you can have a third party that's, platonic or family, or even, I don't know, like a job or something here. And just, I guess, like listen through that filter if that's something that, you know, you're asking about. But I think I'm primarily going to try to hone in on that like romantic third party kind of an energy. Okay. So I am just going to put the piles up. I'm so nervous. Okay, actually, I'm all out of whack. Okay, so we do have an anchor card. The anchor isn't one of the choices, but it is a common energy that is in all of the piles. So we'll just get a good look at that, because I do feel like we read the cards together and that I pick up on the general energies and you might pick up on more specific energies specific to your situation. And I do feel like we're all intuitive, and that being called into the tarot and this kind of stuff, I feel like we're called to work with our intuition, hone that intuition, and be in that kind of living communion with spirit, if you will. So I'll just put that up there. It might flash into your mind as we're going through the reading. That might mean something to you. And we'll put up the choices. So we've got pile number... Sorry, I'm all out of whack. Oh my gosh. Okay, pile number 1 is the flame. Pile number 2 is the orphan, and pile number 3 is the one. So I'm just going to put that up there for you, and I'm just going to ground my energy. I'm just going to take a moment. And if you'd like to take a moment with me, we'll go ahead and take our moment of silence now. We'll ground those energies. We'll turn the gaze inwards. We'll take some relaxing breaths. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and be drawn into whatever pile or multiple piles you are drawn in. Oh, thank you. Was once involved in a situation where there was a fifth party. Oh my gosh, my condolences. Holly Mayo says, I'm on a vacay. Congratulations. Hello. Oh, feeling like an orphan. Third party energies usually scare me, but I'm excited about this one as I feel many bullets have been dodged. All right. So I guess on that note, we will go ahead and go to pile number 1, the flame. I don't know if you guys can hear the birds tweeting in the background, but it's giving me life right now. The sounds of spring. That was another thing. I don't know, like I'm kind of mentioning this, maybe it's a part of the reading, but this last week where I live, we had like 3 separate tornado warnings, like 3 days of the week. It was really exhausting. And I have a lot of anxiety around that kind of stuff. Maybe that's like something relevant here, that this person maybe has like a phobia or some type of anxiety or something here with this third party. But let me go ahead and try and tap into this energy specifically. All right, let's get... Okay, turning your back is on the bottom of this deck that I grabbed. Look, backstab. Pain, cheating, deception, mind games, and love bomb. Okay, I gotta say I was kind of getting a good vibe off of this third party. Maybe for some of you, this is your energy and you resonate as being the third party. But if not, I feel like this third party, I don't think is actually around. So I feel like this was a third party from the past that is turning their back on the situation because there was some type of pain or cheating in the situation and it made them feel like shit. And so they were going back and forth with this person where it was kind of like a love-hate kind of an energy. And I think they were bumping heads a lot here about something, but it feels like this person turned their back and they've actually really been doing a lot better. So let me just tap in with this person's energy. You know, not all third parties are, you know, like terrible. I'm actually like, I'm interested in how you feel this person is a third party, because I kind of feel like this person maybe got cheated on or was like the partner or, you know, somebody here like that. But I also feel like in some way they have like moved away from this person or from this situation. I do think that it was like a mind trip for this person, or they kind of tried to work it out in their mind. If they were like in a relationship or they had a family together or something, I feel like this person was kind of torn of like, well, should I stay or should I go? You know, and I think they had virtues and kind of principles that aligned on both sides of like, should I stay or should I go? Like, what about the kids? You know, what about this? What about that kind of a thing? But I'm just getting that this person has turned their back and it's led to some type of happiness or some type of new day. Okay. Yeah. Because this person is coming up as having been through a trying time. And I think this definitely has to do with your person. I can see that it's like bigger than that. There was like a lot that this person I think had to go through, sort through. They've been through some type of really trying time. And I feel like this person might be into meditation, or like they could have kind of gone within and spent a lot of time alone. They could have even like moved somewhere where they kind of lived more alone. But they really made use of that time. Like this person might have been a reader. Like they read, because I said that maybe they read like tarot or intuition. I feel like this person's maybe intuitive, but it feels like since they've gotten away from this relationship and the mental energy around this relationship, because this person's energy was kind of kept tormented a bit, like, and kept down by the animosity and the pain and the backstabbing and the cheating and the hurt that was going on in this relationship. And I do think it was kind of messing with their intuition, because intuition, as we know, is like more of a subtle energy kind of thing. Like we say, you know, does this resonate? And that doesn't mean like, does this confirm your bias of the mind energy or anything? Resonance is more of a subtle kind of like, you have to kind of feel it out energy. And I feel like this person is actually pretty good with the subtle body, or like, you know, tuning into that. But it was so painful that it was like this person was a bit handicapped in their intuition, like around this person from their past, who I actually think was a soulmate. And I think that there was actually more than one third party. So because like I said, I feel like this person was like the partner or something. So if you're resonating as being a third party, I mean, maybe you were a third party and now you're the partner or something, but I feel like there were other third parties around for sure. I feel like maybe this person had like a habit, or, you know, this happened more than one time or something. But what I'm getting from this third party is that they've really done a lot of work on themselves. I feel like they have really laid the foundations, is what I'm hearing, for like their future self, but also future incarnations. I feel like they've worked through a lot of karma. And I think there was something that they blame themselves for in this situation that isn't exactly true. And I think they've kind of had to realize, I am hearing the word like blameless, like it wasn't my fault, you know, I couldn't have helped this or that. They've gotten some type of new perspective on the situation, but it was after a period of like a long time. I just heard long suffering. So maybe they were kind of long suffering. They were really trying to hold out, or there was like a long period of recalibration and adjustment, is what I'm getting, like healing from this energy. Yeah, there was like some sudden message that came in, and it hurt this person. You know, it hit in a very sensitive space. I feel like that could be, you know, their home and like their family, their children even, but just a very sensitive kind of place. It also could be that this brought up some traumas, like, you know, even from childhood. But, oh, that was interesting. Yeah, because this person is an empress and they know that they're an empress. Like I said, I'm not getting a bad vibe off of this like third party at all. And I'm kind of getting that this person wasn't really a third party. Like, I think they were a primary person. I think they got cheated on. I don't think that they were like a part of a third party situation. They definitely didn't want to be. I don't feel this person was in competition with you or with anybody else. Okay, I just heard, oh, nah, what's my name? What's my name? What's my name? So we have the Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I feel like this person got cheated on. I also feel like this person was really sexy when they're younger. Not that they're not sexy now. I feel like the kind of like sexy and attractive that this person is, it's very empress. It's like very well-rounded. There's a kind of polish. But I feel like this person was like a Queen of Wands. And yeah, that maybe got with a Knight of Wands, because there's more of an indictment on their partner, to be honest. Like, I feel like this was a Queen of Wands that kind of got with a Knight of Wands, and it was like a Hierophant energy. And I think that's something that this person reflects on. So it tells me that maybe there was a lot of like passion or lust in this relationship. And this person felt like they were kind of defending their ground, or like they were kind of defending themselves, from their partner even, because that was always getting them in third party situations or was not coming through on things. Because their partner, I feel like, would make promises, like kind of not fulfill those things, or would get started on a project or something and then like really lose a lot of momentum. And so I think this person was really just feeling like they were in a defensive stance and not wondering if that was virtuous, or wondering if that was virtuous or if it was not virtuous. And I feel like this person had a lot of karmas actually around the wands energy. And I feel like this person actually has a lot of fire energy in their chart, but I don't. And maybe that actually made them not fit in with like a group of people. Or, okay, I also feel like this might distinguish them from the third parties, like the true third parties that were in this situation. That are more watery. I feel like this person's more fiery and they were starting off on some type of new beginning. Okay, now we're tapping into this. I feel like there was a whole karmic cycle that happened, I want to say even before this lifetime, where this particular person advanced. And I think they're actually showing the way to not just the person that they were with, but even like to these third parties. This is the person who's kind of like lighting the way. They have a bit of a hecate energy, and that's very witchy. We've had a couple markers of like witchiness, and I don't know that this person would call themselves a witch, but I feel like maybe they're meant to get in touch with that archetype. And what I mean by that is, witch for me is a feminine archetype that has really, really been demonized. It's often a scapegoat. This person may have been scapegoated. And it could be that their partner was running around telling these third parties that like, oh, my partner is probably like negative fire traits. Like, my partner is so angry or so this or that. My partner cheats on me. My partner is so selfish. She never like blah, blah, blah. I actually think the partner's really cool and is actually, I think, has like a good healthy fire energy that you would be blessed to have in a relationship, and especially like a long-term relationship. And I actually feel this partner was meant to be a blessing to this person if they could kind of get their act together and turn themselves around and follow in the footsteps that this person has already accomplished. And we'll talk more about that here in just a second. But as I was saying, I feel like this person is further along than like the other people that are kind of around. And it's because of this kind of, I want to say, there is that independence of that fire energy that's coming through, but it's self-respecting. It's like kind of, I'm hearing the word righteous, and this person has to kind of connect with that righteousness, because I think this person like dampened their fire energy in some kind of way because of the kinds of people that maybe they were around, with this person or something. But yeah, I feel that, okay, so that's actually what I'm getting. This person actually, this is an interesting energy because I have a fire energy, but then I'm also getting this like really, really pleasant moon energy. It's like a soft, nurturing quality of the moon. But I feel like this person also has like a jovial personality, but also can hold the room, but in this kind of like subtle way. It almost kind of like a wink kind of energy, where it's not like loud or brash. It's very alluring. Like there's a kind of magnetism that comes off of this third party. And it's very social. But I do think that sometimes this person, like especially around the Three of Cups energies that were around this person, I think this person was like a lot misunderstood because they have a very positive energy and they're actually very buoyant in their energy and their personality. They might be even like quick-witted or something, but I feel like this person has like a really nice kind of balance to their personality where it's, they're never boring, but they aren't, in that energy that they can kind of like hold a room and stuff. It's like they're never boring. They always add this kind of like little pop of color to a space, but it's never like self-centered or like overly like too much to deal with kind of, in a social group or something, because they are like actually very aware. But I feel like this person being like the partner, or like I feel like they were ostracized in some way. Maybe by this group, there was some type of judgment that was cast on this person, and it's absolutely incorrect. And so if you were maybe a partner that came after this person, because maybe you both were partners, like, so you heard, maybe this is like the ex, you heard a lot about this ex. I bet you were lied to be honest, about this ex, because I just feel like they've been maligned or they've been like smeared in some way, and it's not true. This person actually has like a really kind of, I don't know, loving energy, but they're also feisty a bit, and not in a bad way, in like this kind of self-respecting way. They're really on the ball kind of thing. Like they're really with it. And I'm getting, they have, like they pursue their passion in life, or like they pursue their desires in life, but they come at it from this really, it's like an Uttara Bhadrapada sort of a place, where Uttara Bhadrapada is like that sea snake that spends a lot of time beneath the water. And that's what I'm getting. Like this person very much has that. And it's because they suffered through a hard time. Because I feel like if this person didn't suffer through a hard time, then this person would seem more extroverted than they actually are. Because I think this person's actually an ambivert, to be honest. Like, I think that they can feel fresh and energized, like in a crowd, but I think they've been wounded by a crowd, by a group, by being smeared by their person. It suited these people to kind of spread lies about this person or believe a false narrative about this person. And that actually shoved them more into an introverted space, where I feel like that wasn't necessarily natural for this person. So if you haven't really, like, I'm getting that this is like an ex or something. So if you don't really see much of this person and you are maybe a partner now, and like they have kids together or something, I mean, I feel like it's not really this person's natural. It is natural to them, but they have explored it because of the hard time that they've gone through, and it's made them more self-aware. So this person has kind of like a blend of energies, but I'm getting that maybe your person, or whoever their partner was in the past, and whoever you are to this person, that they have good qualities. Like that partner, they seem a little immature, a little adolescent, and maybe there's a bit of a failure to launch kind of energy here, where it's like, there's like a late bloomer kind of thing. There's being a late bloomer, and then there's whatever this guy is, like whatever he's got going on, because it's a bit more than that. It's like there is selfishness, there is kind of a raucous energy, but that comes from, I think, a group that he hangs around, and in particular, there's a guy here, and I feel like this guy actually is the true third party, but I don't think that you would recognize this guy as being the third party, or like the third wheel. I don't think that's who you're maybe thinking about when you asked about this pile number one. But there is this guy, and he is in this like party scene kind of a thing. And what I'm getting for this guy that's in the background that I think is like a bro, or like a friend, is devil energy, straight up. Because that's what I'm getting. There's Uttara Bhadrapada energy coming through for this partner. Uttara Bhadrapada follows Purva Bhadrapada, and they have this kind of sun moon energy, but also Uttara Bhadrapada's Yoni sign, Uttara Falguni, is a sun sign. So this person, I think, they're very interesting. I think they hang out with a lot of sun oriented people. They really like that energy. And I think their person has it in them, has the potential. And this is what they were drawn into, because they are soulmates, but it was just a potential in this person. And I think that person was really at a crossroads whenever they met this person. But their partner had a sun energy that does lean actually more towards the light, but they're around this group, and this other energy that I'm picking up on, this other masculine that was in the background that I think is the true third party here, the true third wheel is what I'm getting. And I'm seeing a bike with 3 wheels, but I'm seeing like, sometimes think about your shopping cart, like sometimes like the wheel gets stuck and like does that weird thing, and it's just like not gliding. That's what this man does to her partner, like, or your partner, whoever this masculine is in their relationship. It makes it to where like it can't steer the way that it wants to go, because that he has a sun energy too. Sun people are very leadership oriented. They're very bright. They kind of have a magnetism, a kind of authority to them, especially like in a group. People can really like notice who these people are, and I think that's what drew these two men together as like friends, because they thought, oh, we're kind of similar. But I feel like her partner here kind of played second fiddle to this other guy. Not supposed to. He's not supposed to. He's supposed to learn how to not do that. And I think that's what this partner in a previous life knew how to do. I think this partner likes to get down. I think they're sexual. I think that they're social. They have this kind of, and maybe you've noticed this or maybe you haven't, because I do think that they're a bit more introverted nowadays, but they just have this kind of like flowing energy, like where they're comfortable in themselves. It's like a confidence, but they're kind of comfortable in a group. And they're also like, I think they probably, they have this, they're a very good person and they're very moral and everything. They like to party. They like to dance, but they really actually like to party. They really actually like to dance. They don't want to go to like take advantage of people who might be inebriated or like to do something that they would regret. This is like a fun person. The partner is. And I think that this masculine has that energy as well, but really associates with negative people. And he's supposed to not necessarily leave that group of people, but he's the sun energy. He's meant to be this kind of like shining light or like leadership oriented energy, but he is not to play second fiddle to this devil energy, because this other guy has this like leadership energy and he's let him right off a cliff. And I feel like that's the wormwood, that's the devil in his ear kind of thing. And that's the challenge really, like to the partner, that these two are the primary like of the third party situation. Like I feel like you have the partner here and then you've got this like guy who's kind of in the background, who's this like bro that leads this guy really astray and makes him think that, oh, like having fun or being cool has to be salacious. You have to hurt people. You have to do horrible things. You have to give yourself an addiction. Like that's the only way to truly let loose and have fun. And it's wrong. And this guy knows it's wrong, because I think he within himself can be pretty like happy, or again, like bring that kind of energy in a natural sort of way, genuinely likes to be around people kind of a thing. Whereas this other guy, it's not really about that. So it's kind of like it should have been more of a fight here, like on an energetic plane between good and evil. But I just think that this guy like kind of went with that other guy. And that's why there's all these like kind of third parties that you would recognize as being third parties, like people that he's been dallying around with or sleeping with or something. They're not the true third party here in terms of gravity and power and influence. Like it's this man in the background. And I don't think that they're sleeping together. I think this is just like a friend. And I actually feel that there's a distance here. Like they might hang out all the time, but I actually feel like there's a distance here. And like that this guy very much has the intention to influence her partner here into bad behaviors, which is going to pull him away from her and their family and the obligations that he has. And even becoming a person that he likes and respects, because this guy does have somewhat of like a noble energy. And what I'm getting is like this partner, because he was very much at a fork in the road. I feel like this partner who may have been you, I think for some of you are going to resonate with being this third party, but whoever this partner was kind of was the reward, was like the light at the end of the tunnel, where it's like, if you turn this around, and this partner is like very auspicious in some kind of way, but it's because of the things that they've kind of overcome. And that was in previous incarnations, because I feel like they had a big trial. And I mean, that could have been that they had an actual big like court case or something in a previous life that was, it feels like unjust or immoral, but it feels like they had to go against some kind of power structure. And it feels like maybe it's not necessarily the same guy that was like also this person's karmic, but it feels similar, like a similar kind of like, I know how to break away from, and I'm showing you what the future can look like. It can look bright. Go through the tough time, break away from this, that, or the other thing. And I actually feel like this guy, like there's friends here in this like group that again, they're not like really of the highest vibration, but I do feel like they're genuinely soulmates. And I think that he's kind of meant to be in that group, but he is meant to be more of like a leader in that group, if that makes sense. Yeah. But I feel like this partner was really the light at the end of the tunnel, was really like the reward for having done that. But I don't think he did. And that's why I think things came crashing down. And that's also why I feel like there's a distance. And I don't think she's around like this third. So it also could be that the reason this is coming up as a third party. So you might have, maybe you just started dating somebody new and you're just asking, you're like, I wonder if there is anybody else. And I don't think that there is in the physical. I think that this soulmate or this partner or whoever this ex is kind of like that third party in his mind, like, cause it's just that strong kind of soulmate connection. Yeah. And so it's like a fantasy. It's like he fantasizes about bringing her his cup and making things right. And like bringing her, I don't know, money. I feel like she went through a hard time because of this. And so he maybe fantasizes about defending her and, even if he tells you he doesn't like her, because again, I feel like she's been maligned, and that's the influence of this other guy. It's not the way that he truly feels in his heart about this third party. But that's the influence of this other guy and the kind of people. It is this particular other guy, even though there's a group. This other group doesn't pull on his energy. He's not influenced really by the group here. he more would stand up to like a lot of these people in the group. It wouldn't even really be hard. There's this other guy though that he finds it hard to stand up to him because he thinks he's cool and he wants him to like him. Maybe there's some business opportunities or something because there is like kind of a sun energy there. But yeah, and sun dominant men in particular can go through the ladies. They don't necessarily have a bad attitude or like a bad personality towards them. They just, and they don't, a lot of times it's not even very sneaky really, but I'm kind of getting a sneaky vibe off this other guy. You know, it's just, they just have experiences and kind of move on. And that's all they really want kind of a thing. And I feel like this partner, they have an interesting energy because they have this like very loving, like soft nurturing side, but they also have this kind of like wink at you kind of like, you know, they like subtlety. I feel like this partner likes subtlety, like in their jokes or like with their intellect or something, you know, and they like somebody who can kind of hang. And maybe these two had that connection or maybe not. But I just feel like there's just a real kind of subtle like energy here. They can be emotionally defensive, but that feels like the scarring here, maybe to do with this or whatever. There's just keeps being this reference of them going through this kind of really long-term, like horrendous time. Okay, anything else here about this third party? This person is a lesbian, but yeah. Yeah, and take it or leave it with the gender stuff, like, because energies, and I haven't really been saying this a lot, but like masculine energy is more of like a doing energy. And to me, this is the way I make sense of the universe. And feminine energy is like that being energy. So the partner, I feel like, is just like kind of being herself. But I do get this, like the masculine here that is a friend is kind of doing the most. Like there's something that they're actively doing. I feel like they really are, this partner, they are really trying to get this person like on side. And this is reminding me of a reading that I must have done years and years ago, where I remember there was something about not wanting to like let go of that because it would be too strong of a mirror to see. Because I think that this partner, whoever it is like cool, you know, can be like a cool guy. And so it's not nerdy to like treat the people that you're in a relationship with, any kind of relationship with, kindly, nicely, you know, with respect. That's not an uncool thing to do. And that's the truth. That's just reality. But I feel like this other guy, he's got something that he's got to work through. And this partner here could have really been the person to show this person that, like, not so much with their words, but just with their actions. Like, it would disprove a lot of this guy's like worldview and theories that I think is like butt crack, like Lintville, butt crackville kind of a perspective anyway. And he didn't want that to happen. So I do think that he was sabotaged in some way. And I think it's because of this sun energy. It's like the rival of those like personality. Maybe it's like a cult of personality even, but like who can make this group in my image kind of thing. But it's like leadership. Sun is leadership energy. So I think that they saw that this guy has that ability to kind of be the other gravity that could pull this group in a better direction, actually, that would actually end up challenging this other guy. That's all he cared about, is that this group would potentially challenge him on his philosophies. And that because if this guy's in a happy, healthy relationship, and if this guy starts treating women, I'm hearing women, especially like people, but especially women and also children, you know, because some people just don't treat children very well because they don't think that they have like rights and stuff. But if he starts to treat people well and he doesn't have like a male supremacy sort of thing, then other people in this group might do the same thing. And then what does the culture of this group kind of start to do? Is I feel like this other guy, I don't know. It's like he has this leadership kind of quality, but it's like shit, you know? And I am getting a kind of like misogyny sort of thing off this other guy in a way that might be closeted. He's suppressing maybe homosexuality towards everybody, really. You know, this is the guy that gets like red face and is like, women are property. And it's like, you know, you don't want to love a woman because you want to love a man, and you should just, you know, like say that. That's just for some of you that I feel like that's the kind of energy that's coming through where it's like, what thing are you suppressing so strongly in yourself that this is the way that it's kind of coming out? And there's a better way. Okay. Oh my God. Butt crackville. Okay. So anything else here about this third party? Yeah, I think like that was a main thing in this reading that Spirit wanted to highlight, is just exactly who this third party is. Because again, for some of you, there is like a soulmate. It was like a missed kind of thing in the past because this guy didn't really get himself together. And so you might think, oh, that woman is like the third party. And I think that she is like the partner, like, but I think it's ruined between the two of them. I think he really put her through hell. And I think that she's not open to it. She's on some type of happy path. And it has a lot to do with independence and introversion. And I think that I don't know if you know her or not, but like if you knew her in the past before any of this kind of went on, that might have surprised you that she went on more of an independent or like introverted journey because of her personality. And because if you saw her ever like with her friends or like in a group or something, it may have surprised you that she actually like went down that path. And she just did because this something bit her like in the social, kind of atmosphere. And then she actually started to realize, I don't even think it took very long, but I think she just realized like, I really like my own company, or I like reading books, or I like really exploring, it feels like maybe philosophies, or she's working through karmas, and she is actually getting herself kind of like set up, because this is a woman and it's coming as a feminine energy. Take the genders as applies to your situation. She does follow her desires. She follows her passions. And so whatever she's looking into or whatever it is that she's done, even if it's like meditating or something, there's like real passion there. There's like there's a very kind of like vivacious sort of person that's coming through. But yeah. So the third party though is this masculine energy. And I feel like, so if you're the new partner and you're just wondering, like, I think you probably heard that he's got a past. Maybe that's why you're asking about this. Cause there have been like other people, but there's not really any connection there. Even if you've seen him be pleasant, because this guy just has that ability to be kind of like superficially pleasant. It's not an indication of his like emotions or anything. It's just sort of like, what he does. The real third party is this masculine energy, and the masculine energy I think is still around. And that's the undertow. That's what you kind of have to, so what you want to watch for in this guy, because yeah, he does fantasize about this other woman and making things right. And that's like kind of a big love, for him. I don't think you've got to worry about her though. Because she doesn't want him. She's off. He's hurt her. He didn't do what he needed to do. These people are still around. She's happy. She's thriving. She's like kind of supporting herself. But what you want to watch is if he is independent around this other guy. Can he go apart from him? Will he challenge him? Do they hang out like all the time together? When they hang out, they probably go to the bar, or they do some type of low vibrational activity. It's that kind of stuff, because that's the real third party here. And yeah, there's been other women around, and I really wouldn't put it past this guy, because I think he's been in a bit of like a habit. I don't think it's naturally who he is. This is the kind of guy that would kind of be pissed off at himself. Like when he realizes, like when he remembers, because this is a guy that just kind of knows better. He does. But he wants to fit in kind of a thing, instead of like taking up that mantle for himself. This is also a guy who has the ability to really provide for himself and do quite well, but he has to apply himself. This is not a guy, I don't think, that comes from money, but he does have some type of like skill set or talent where if he applied himself, he could have like a very comfortable, secure financial life. And I don't know if he's had that or not. Because I think hanging out with this, being under the thumb of this man, he probably spends money like water. I don't think that he makes his money work for him, because the sun energy is usually actually, they can be quite successful, but usually they'll live more austere. Like they don't buy kind of frivolous things. And I feel like there's a lifestyle more that's going on here. It feels like gambling. It feels like making bets at a dart game. It feels like, drinking and buying around for everybody. It feels like that, but it's like baked into a lifestyle where that's done at least like 2 or 3 times a week or something like that. So I think maybe he does have that ability to sort of like really be a light in the world and kind of, I don't know, like do well for himself. But it's him that he has the ability to kind of build something up and do things the right way. And I don't know if he's fulfilled that or not, like with his partner being away, but it seems like, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? And then we'll move on to pile number 2. So the Wheel of Fortune, the third party's wife is leaving him. Interesting. Okay. Wheel of Fortune, the Ace of Swords. Okay, so I feel like you have divine help here. Whether this is your spirit guides or some type of like high vibrational, helpful, friendly, funny. I'm picturing those like birds that like to make like little sounds, like mimic sounds or something. I don't know. Maybe like a parrot or something. Like it's making me smile. But it's coming through like divine energy that's bringing in the truth. So I feel like you have the right to know the truth so that you can protect yourself in this situation. Yeah, I mean, he is waiting for his ships to come in here with, I think, this lady. I just don't think that's going to shape up. Like, I think that he really stressed her out. Notice, like, the gray hair. I feel like he really stressed her out, and I think she felt like she needed to strategically get away. like she had to mind her P's and Q's to kind of like get away from the situation. And like she is sad, or like she's grieving here in this situation. She felt like this is a fire person. Like this is somebody who knows their strength, like they have their confidence. But I feel like there was untruths maybe about this other group, about the kind of behaviors and stuff, about there being other third parties. There was like untruths, and it kept her in this weakened position when she's the empress. And that's what she remembers. I'm hearing that quote, like people don't always remember, the things that you specifically said or the things that you did, but they always remember how you made them feel. And I feel like that's the issue that this masculine has with this soulmate, is that she might not remember specifics, but she remembers probably very deeply the way that he made her feel. And I think he made her feel like shit. And I think that she is like actually very important to him. This was like kind of the love of his life. And I think he threw her under the bus for some, to be accepted by a group, by a like gang of males. And I'm being like hyperbolic. I feel like this is probably just like, you would see these people and you'd be like, okay, this is like regular dudes. But it's just like, and really like the group isn't so bad. It's just the influence of this other guy. So he wanted this like kind of chintzy approval. This like, I don't know, like, don't you like me? But it's weird because I feel like this guy's likable anyways. And so maybe there's a confidence thing here. I don't know what it is, because he does seem like somewhat kind of confident. But he what it is he's not confident to go his own way. That's what it is. And that's how he threw her under the bus. And there's like a temptational energy here that he was supposed to say no to. And it looks like it's going to provide some type of results, but actually it's just kind of the thing that seals his fate. So, anything else that wants to come through? Yeah. So this third party, because the third party is really this guy, okay? But I feel like the partner here actually got run off, but she made her own mind up, because that's the difference between them. She can do that. She made her own mind up, and I think she left a situation even though there was a lot of love. I think there was a lot of love between them, and I think despite possibly like the treatment here and the fact that she was being lied on and gossiped about, and all those things were like untrue, but there was a lot of love from like the people that are around too, So even though they were like, like, like laughing, like, it's so funny that we cheat on people. That's my sense of humor, just sadism. And like, I love, like when I see people cry, I find that humorous. It's so like knee slapping funny. Instead of having an actual sense of humor, like, it just feels like that, like even though she was around that kind of energy, that's animosity, like it's that way kind of towards her. And it feels sexist, to be honest. But, even though she was around that, there was real love for her and for her personality. And there's a real uniqueness like here where she just kind of fit in, I think, with this person and with this like group, very unique kind of personality. I also think that this was a trigger for this other guy, because this woman, I heard somebody say the other day that like in a misogynistic society, the best thing that you can do is not to try to be this kind of woman or that kind of woman. Make your name known, like be an individual. So like when they think about you, they don't think about like, and they were relating this to like news headlines. You'll hear like a woman will win a congressional race and it'll be like such and such place elected a woman. You see this with like race and, like immigrant status too. But yeah, it's like, oh, they elected a woman. But it's like somebody like, okay, love or hate her. I'm not trying to bring up like politics or anything. But like AOC, what she has done is she's been seen in a very patriarchal society as herself, as an individual. You know her name. You think of her name, And so I feel like that's what this woman did in this group, is like that I think encourages this kind of cheating atmosphere where it's like, oh, women are just kind of like, you just churn through them, or whoever they sleep with, you just churn through them. But I think she was a real individual. And I think that was a trigger here for this other guy. And I think that's also why he felt threatened by this relationship, not just because it was going to be like an actual relationship and it's going to disprove a lot of his worldviews. And by the way, that would be the best thing that ever happened to this individual, because he's miserable and sad. Maybe he feels like I just get the sense he feels like he's unlovable, or he can't love who he wants to love, or something like that. But yeah, he's taking it out on everybody else, and he's dragging everybody else down with him, kind of a thing, as like a shield, so he doesn't have to look at himself, sort of thing. But that's the impression that I'm getting from this third party, is she's made herself a real individual, where it was like kind of hard for her to do that. Okay, so putting up the choices. Remember, the one at the top with the tier energy is the anchor card. It's not one of the choices. So we just did pile number 1, which is the flame, and we're moving on to the orphan. The birds outside just went like chirp, 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 chirp. I'm the woman and the third party is good best friend and we are still together. The third party moved away, but it's still sound. Okay, so this seems like maybe how things could have played out, but like if things went wrong, but things actually went right in your situation, that's awesome. So it sounds like maybe he's actually like been able to stand up for himself and actually pass that karmic test and turn that corner in his soul, which is great. The third party's wife is leaving him. Oh, wow. He bleeds money. Interesting. I was the partner who ran away from the group. Yeah. Nice. Nice, nice. I was seeing a guy I worked with and that's what happened. Yeah. Okay. I just saw, oh my gosh, butt crackville. Okay. So I'm just going to spray this a little bit and then we'll compassion. Oh, money paid me home. Okay. If you're ready, then I'm ready. If you need a little bit more time, you can pause it here, but we'll move on to pile number 2, the orphan. Okay, I feel like I'm getting back in my groove a little bit here with my buttons and stuff. My gosh, I just took like 1 week off and I'm like, what am I doing? Okay. Okay. So
that's why you should never take a break.
I think that's the lesson, right? I'm joking. Okay, so for pile number 2, let me just tap into this energy here. Okay. All right, pile number 2. This is different. This is a different energy. I want to use the same deck for some reason. I'm going to use the same deck and we'll just see how that goes. Feisty Phoenix, thank you so much for the super chat. And I love that name and I love that hippo. Okay, so, all right. Well, okay, I'm getting the 9 of Swords here. Okay, so this third party, I feel like actually utilizes anxiety as a tool. Like this person's kind of shysty. I'm getting this like snaky kind of energy, but also this looks like a really kind of, smaller snake, which those are the ones you kind of have to look out for, like the babier ones, because they haven't exactly figured out who to lash out at and who not. Like I know walking the trails in Colorado, like you really didn't want to see a small rattler snake because it was more likely that they were going to bite you kind of a thing. But I'm getting that this is like a full grown person, and they are very protective. For some of you, this is your person's mother because I did just like see the child's hand there and they're kind of like defensive or protective over that. Or they like maybe use a child to, they're very like defensive over a child, but this is like a faux kind of defense, meaning it's their defensiveness over a child is disingenuous. It's not actually rooted in a genuine concern. Like whatever it is that they're bringing up, it's not actually rooted in a genuine concern. It's a variable for some type of power or control. They just want to be able to have a say. So they know that they have no right to control what the thing is that they really want to say and they really want to change. So this person might use a child to say like, well, this can't ever be in the house because Billy doesn't like it. And Billy's like, huh? Like little Billy doesn't really care. But it's like, I feel like there's a child being used as a pawn here. And for some, the child might be your person. But for others, this might be an ex that like actually has a child here. I do feel like this person has serious inner child wounds. And I think this is maybe where this comes from because defense and aggression is something that this third party mixes up all the time. And primarily they mix it up inside of themselves because this third party is aggressive and they feel very justified they justify their aggression with like defensiveness, but it's not genuine defensiveness. And I just get that like this third party is like not under threat, but this third party and like this little child and this inner child, it's like not under threat and it's not under threat anymore. For some, I feel like, this is the kind of thing where you have to kind of balance having compassion here because for some, this third party really did go through it like in their childhood and you can kind of see why this person might be kind of confusing defensiveness and aggression because maybe they grew up in a very like aggressive household and they were defending themselves against aggression. And so that's kind of, they justify like, I'm just standing up for themselves. But this is the sort of thing where it's like you're out of that environment now. And so it's kind of, they're seeing a threat like where there's not actually a threat. And so they're like kind of behaving badly. But I feel like this person, there's like how do I describe this? I mean, it's just they really don't consider, they don't see other people really. It's just this insane kind of self-centeredness. They don't see other people. And so they just are kind of constantly like maneuvering. But I feel like this person is real slick about it. They're really slick about it. And like I said, they use anxiety. So that could come about in a lot of different ways. I'm kind of getting, there's this like dichotomy here of like, if the crying will work, they'll use that. So they might like kind of feign being vulnerable or delicate or in need of defense in some type of way. Or they might like kind of cry and say, well, I feel, it's like the small stuff. Like I feel really scared, or I feel really like the kind of things that make people want to rescue. Victim, rescuer, persecutor. I feel like this is where this third party lives. That's their like bread and butter. I feel like they're the persecutor. They can't admit that they're the persecutor, because I do think that this third party has experienced some genuine persecution of their own, especially like in their developmental years. But so that's what I'm saying is like, you have to be able to kind of balance the compassion that you have for this third party whilst also stopping the pattern and saying like, you have to be able to hold a strong boundary. To not hold a strong boundary with this third party is to ensure that a lot of people will be victimized around this third party. And I think that this person lashes out the hardest at anybody who calls them a persecutor. And I don't think that people would really call this person the persecutor to their face in such blunt terms. I mean, maybe like, especially people who have been around, like this child when it grows up, maybe will. They've been around this person for a long time. They might say like, you're an abuser, you know, they might say it. They might understand all the little intricacies, but then they'll lump it together in that one category because if the shoe fits. I actually feel like this third party is like messed up, to be honest. But if you even in good faith, like this isn't really a person you could have a good faith conversation with, because they will view it as a slight. They think that you are coming at them. I also feel like this person has a very fixed oriented mindset as opposed to a growth oriented mindset. And so what I mean by that is like they think that people are the way that they are, at least in certain categories and like arenas of life, and that they can never change. And so people like that can be kind of afraid of, let's say in this instance, like therapy, because on some level, this third party does know that they behave badly and they don't want to be seen and they don't want to be found out, because they feel like that is like a death sentence, that they'll never be taken seriously again. And so they're always going to have doors closed on them. They're going to lose every argument. They might lose custody of their child. Because they know that people are kind of justified to move away from them. But they don't want people to know that because they feel like that's who they are and they can't change. But I do feel like there's been genuinely people around this person that have pointed out their toxic negative behaviors. Again, I don't think that it's always this big kind of term, like you are an abuser, you know, or a persecutor. But that the shoe would fit here because there's a huge pattern. There's a lot of different things that this person does. But they will point out, well, you do this, you know, and it makes me feel like this, or you do, have you ever noticed that you do that? And they're bringing it up because they want relief. They want connection with this person. They want cooperation. They want like things to heal. They are actually like acting in good faith. But this person is hypervigilant in an aggressive way. They are always looking out for a threat. And this person expends all their energy doing that rather than looking at their own behavior, because every time they look at their own behavior, they just justify it immediately. And they're like, well, that person was coming at me. Where I feel like, again, anything that kind of pokes at this person, they view as like coming at them. So if you try to point to the truth around this person, they just like really lash out. But again, I think this person has like a kind of slick way of speaking, maneuvering. But I think that people know about this person. I mean, there's like an insane amount of aggression coming off of this person. And like I said, they use anxiety as some type of weapon. So it's either their own, like they'll feign being in a place of vulnerability that's like high strung. Oh, I'm just so anxious, or oh, I'm just so nervous. And I do think that there's some type of an anxiety here, but it's like more, I'm not trying to diagnose anybody, but it's more the anxiety of like a covert narcissist, where they just always feel like, you know, and I just shared a video on covert narcissism over on Patreon, and I shared it for free. So even if you're not a patron, like that's something that you can see. But he always describes covert narcissists as like failed narcissists, because narcissists are grandiose. And so they really want to like succeed or have something that they can be like, yeah, well, I'm like this kind of person, or I'm that kind of person. But covert narcissists are like collapsed narcissists. So I feel like this person is kind of a collapsed narcissist where there's something here that they failed at or that they didn't really like make their mark in the world or something. But they definitely feel like the biggest pawn that they have to use is like this kid. Maybe they view their child as their like biggest success or something. It's the way that they get their hooks in, not just their partner, because I feel like this might be other people as well. Like it's a way that they kind of throw their weight around. This is the parent that, like, I don't know, like even to like their teacher, their kids' teachers or something, like they would always be complaining about like, there's this one example that I want to use that was like on the internet. And I don't mean that mom is that way. I don't know her. Like there was just an incident. She may have just genuinely been confused, but there was, she brought her kid into class and, packed his lunch, packed a water bottle and everything. And, her son came home and said that he was thirsty. And she was like, well, why didn't you get your water bottle? And, she was like mad that the teacher didn't get his water bottle from the bag, but the teacher didn't know that the water bottle was in there. And she saw some type of picture and all the other kids had water bottles at their desk. And she was making it out like the teacher was like intentionally singling out the child. But the teacher, when she asked her about it, she was like, well, as they start to be school age, we more try to talk to them about, she's like, I prompt them to get their stuff and to go to the bathroom or to get a drink like multiple times during the day. He might just be nervous and not know that he can go over to like his backpack area. I don't know. It's just prompting him to let him know we both can do that. But she was like really taking it on the teacher, that it was like the teacher's entire fault. It's that kind of stuff that this person will really do. And I feel like they might also like to make you feel nervous or anxious. Like they like to get you on the back foot in regards of your behavior or something. But I feel like you're probably a nice person. This could be your person's ex or something. So maybe you have to deal with this person like over a child or something. But I feel like you're a very nice person and like a very receptive person. So I mean like you're sensitive and receptive. Like if somebody has a need, you're very sensitive to that. This person will simultaneously try to paint you as the kind of person that doesn't care about other people's needs. But also, they know that that's where to push to cause you the most pain. They know that you'll feel nervous and anxiety. Oh my gosh, I didn't mean for, that person to have that kind of an experience. I hate that they felt that way the entire day. I don't want that kid to not have water. They know that you will feel that way on the inside. But whatever the problem is, because they're trying to make you the problem, or they'll target people that are, because this is like, it's giving collapsed narcissist, to be honest. So, again, I'm not diagnosing anybody, but that's the energy that's coming through. So it even could be that like maybe this is your person's ex, and because your person actually got away from this person, that could be that kind of collapsed thing. Because again, I think this person, I just get that this person's like biggest claim to fame in life was like getting your person, or like having this kid or something, like, and they're like, it's the, what it is? It's like the biggest assertion of their power or something like in the world. But I do feel like things didn't work out between them and your person in the way that they kind of thought. Your person got away like from their control, but I think they still try to use this kid, or if this is their mom, then they act like they're nervous or that they need help. They really cross the boundaries of what a healthy parent-child relationship should look like, especially like in adulthood. And if you called this person out and you kind of said like, look, this is unhealthy. This is actually affecting your child's ability to have healthy functioning relationships with other people, which you should want them to have. You're kind of, breaking that. You're putting too much pressure. Like there's an intention to really break that and to sabotage that because it's selfish and this person's sort of all about themselves, But if you kind of called that out, then this person would be like, so a mother can't have a healthy relationship with her son? A mother can't be close to her son? And it's like, nobody said that. Right? There's being close to your son, and then there's putting your tongue in his ear. And it's like, what, what's going on? They conflate things. And I know that this is one of the like logical fallacies, and I can't remember which one it is, where it's like, oh, it's straw man, right? Like they misrepresent what the problem is. And that's whether they bring up the problem or whether you've brought up a problem. And then, in communication, so you'll bring up a problem and then whoever you're talking to is kind of listening, and then they sort of reflect back what you said, just so you know that you're kind of on the same page and that everybody understands what's going on. But this person, like, you will say what you are thinking, and you'll say it at first when you first meet this person and you don't know what you're in for yet. In good faith, you will just kind of say, we're on the same team. We both want the best results. That's not true of this person. They don't want the best results. They want to win. They want to hurt people. There is like a weird sadism here. Like where this person sort of does like to kind of hurt people in order to kind of like, you feel like that puff off the cigarette, like I'm powerful and I'm in control. And that's the only way that this person thinks that things will work out for them, because this person is like not cooperative. They haven't learned that you can be cooperative with people, and then people will be accommodating to you, or people will like you or choose to be around you. I also feel like this person has delusions as to why people don't want to be around them or why doors have closed for them. This person is playing the victim because that's really all they know how to do. They don't know how to say like, my behavior, it really checks out that nobody would want to be around me because I said that thing, or my tone of voice. Like, I think this person has to think very highly of themselves. And so that's kind of along the lines of the narcissism, you know, where it's just absolutely not true, but they just can't admit that to themselves. So this is a hard person to be around, like to even have like in your child's class, let alone have like, you know, a relationship with, because they're so delusional. And like I said, the main thing that sticks out is like, so this person will always misrepresent the problem, whether you bring it up and then they use a reflective statement back. And again, they'll blow it way out of proportion, or they'll make it another thing, another argument that they feel comfortable attacking and that makes you look crazy or unreasonable. And you would try to kind of, you know, interrupt and say and clarify and correct, like that's how a healthy conversation goes. This person also doesn't realize that people around them, including their child, have actually had conversations with healthy, well-adjusted people. They know what it should feel like when they're actually being listened to, and when somebody who has a problem actually wants to solve that problem. Because I just feel like you've probably had this experience with this third party where it's such a solvable problem, or it's this person will make a mountain out of a molehill, and then they won't apologize or anything. And it's just like, they do all of these very maladjusted behaviors when it comes to like socializing, but they'll still find a way to blame you. And there's certainly mean mugging you, giving you the evil eye. They're talking about you behind their back. And frankly, there's nothing you could do to please this person because they decided before you even walked into the room that they hated you. Some of you have favorite energy as well, where like you are kind and you are nice. And I feel like this person might view you as their nemesis because of that, because you are cooperative, because you have healthy social skills, because you will actually listen, because you're not trying to, win. You're not in competition with this person, but they're in competition with you. And I think like everybody else, and they're in competition for like the truth, like how we represent reality. Because if reality was just allowed to stand for itself, this person would lose. Their ego would lose. And it would be the best thing that ever happened for this person. But they don't, this is not somebody who understands the spiritual path. And if this person says that they're a spiritual person, LOL, they're the kind of faux spiritualist. Don't get me wrong. They might, you know, go to church, or they might do rituals, or they might wear beads. But does this person actually, pass the sniff test when it comes to doing the work of spirituality in a way that is honest and integral? Absolutely not. Because this as well, like this is the kind of problem with this third party that education won't fix. And a lot of us that are very good people, and you've probably learned this the hard way, you think education will solve everything. This will be the person that shows you that it won't. So what I mean by that is you think, oh, well, they just don't know better. You know, and I just need to explain it, because if they just knew, if they just understood, then they would make a change, or they would do better. That assumes that this is a good faith actor. It assumes that their heart is not a dirty old shoe. And that's just not true here with this person. The issue with this person is anything you teach this person, anything at all. This is the kind of person that weaponizes therapy. This is probably the kind of person who also goes to therapy and thinks that their therapist, this person has a very confused view of reality, but this is the kind of person that thinks that their therapist is like some type of like judge or arbiter. And they'll be like, well, my therapist said that you are exclusively the problem. When you know, if you know anything about psychology and anything about the field of therapy, you know damn good and well their therapist didn't say that. Or their therapist is full of shit. This is definitely also the kind of person, like looking from the therapist perspective, they would leave their therapist if their therapist challenged them in any way, which is what therapy should do. I feel like this, for some of you, this person's had therapy is like what I'm getting, but they use that to hide themselves. They'll be like, I've been in therapy for a long time, and you're like, and it's done absolutely nothing for you, because you have to be receptive. You have to value the therapist you choose. You should respect. Like, you should think that they're actually, like, you like what they're saying. You trust their perspective. You know that they have like, and that, you know what? I feel like a therapist, like a good, healthy therapist, is the exact opposite kind of person than this person. I feel like there's something coming through being like, thank you. Oh my gosh. Yes. Thank you. I feel like this person's really hurt people, possibly like with their weaponized therapy speak or something like that. Or there's been a therapist that has felt really overwhelmed trying to kind of like get around, you know, this person. But what I was saying about the therapist, like a truly good therapist would be like this, the exact opposite of this person, because they would want to get to the truth. They would want to heal things. They're a healthy mirror. They take so much time in the way that they kind of are trying to say things so that you can hear it, but also be challenged enough at the same time. And this person is just, it'll go right over them. They're like speaking to a block of cheese, like it's not going to get through. They only hear what they want to hear. And even if you say like beautiful things where you kind of try to prompt this person to reflect on themselves, they won't reflect on themselves. This person goes to therapy and they talk about everybody else, everybody else, right? And they never ever do that work of reflecting back and understanding that every social interaction is a chain reaction, right? That you are a variable in that equation. And it would be hard for this person to understand that too, because this person is a variable in every single conversation and relationship that they have ever had. So have they ever seen a healthy relationship? I don't think so. Because this person is always a factor in every relationship that they had. This person is like, I don't want to say that they're a lost cause, but this person is like not on the road to healing. And if they tell you they are, this is a more dangerous person than somebody who wouldn't tell you that they were on the road to healing. And they're like, I'm just an asshole. Like, or it is what it is. Like somebody who does something fucked up to your face and is like, it is what it is, rather than like weaponizing therapy speak and trying to gaslight you in your mind. And like, that's what this person does. They try to make you feel like things are your fault. That's almost exclusively what this person does. They try to make you feel like things are your fault that are not your fault. Either it's their fault, or it's like their sonny boy's fault and he can do no wrong, or it's like a combination of like, okay, well, we can see how this kind of like got out of control, but I feel like I read about this person quite a bit. And like, so this would really throw you for a loop. And I feel like this might be some type of like spirit teaching you about certain kinds of people for the type of person that I feel like I read for. But some of these types do get kind of like mixed in. Because they think that they're, just like always right or whatever. But like for people who genuinely are very reflective, will take time to kind of run things through their own mind and say, what did I contribute to the situation? How could they, maybe like, did they misread what I said? Is there a way that I could have said that better? I can, like, haven't you ever had that where you're like, that got way out of proportion. But like when you think, you're like, I bet they misunderstood me in this or that way. Oh yeah, because I kind of said it like this, and I can see how they would like have thought that or that. And so you come back and you're like, hey, like, I think I figured out what's going wrong. And like, you say that kind of thing. Like this person could never, like they just could never, because their intention isn't to actually resolve things. Their intention isn't actually to get along. It's not actually to heal. It's not actually to be cooperative. And to the extent that this person says that they want those things, it's just game. It's just strategy. It's just a power move. And like I said, like at the beginning of this reading, this person mixes up, they conflate aggression and defense. In their own behavior, they justify every aggressive move that they make as defense. Because this person is, in a sense, a reactionary. And what I mean by that is they view themselves always in reaction to, this person did this or that, and so I reacted in this way. It never ever crosses this person's mind that this happens to everybody. And those of us who are adults and who have healed ourselves, people do weird shit all the time, right? But also there's that quote that says, never attribute to malice what can be explained by ignorance. Sometimes people are just ignorant. This is a person that has malice. And this is a person that we pick up on this channel a lot, that I feel like has been really trying for a lot of you to deal with, that has really shown you that not everybody is trying their best. Like, and the tactics that I think a lot of you have mastered that like, work in other relationships. I feel like for a lot of you dealing with this person, and probably like their son or like something here that maybe was your partner you got involved with somehow. I think you're probably pretty good at like being cooperative. This would have really thrown you for a loop. You probably had a lot of questions. Like, I don't understand why we can't just solve this. Or this person will seem like they're listening to you, right? Like if this is if your partner's mom and they're always butting into your relationship and certain things, and you sit down, you have like a heart to heart, and you really walk away thinking that they heard you and understand you, but yet they're still doing the same shit. Like I won't do that anymore. And maybe it'll be good for like a couple of days, a couple of weeks. How long this person's cycle is. And there's a tactical nature to it, because I also think like if this has gone on for a long period of time and you're like, if you call out this person's cycle and you're like, yeah, you changed for 2 days, and then, it's right back to the same old nonsense, then all of a sudden you'll start to notice this person will hold out for a week. So there's strategy here. There's choice here that they try to cover up by saying like, whoopsie, or well, because this person defines themselves always in reaction to other people. And one of the things that I feel like, again, like truly being on a spiritual journey is you're like, I want to set the tone in my relationships. Like if somebody else is doing something wrong, doesn't mean that I have to then do something wrong, or that, if somebody wants to step to me on the wrong foot of like some type of low vibrational energy, it doesn't mean that I have to return that energy in kind, you know? I can set my own tone. I can say like, oh no, we're not going to, like with my actions and with my words, I can say, we're not going to do that. We're going to try to, you know, approach this from a more cooperative angle. This would be the person that really wouldn't budge in regards to that. And I think you may be even like kind of singled out by this person, because whoever is around this person is somebody who they can run around, basically. And that may have been, for some of you, you could have taken their dear sonny boy away from them, you know, or somebody that they feel is their like remit. Because this person, remember I said they have a fixed mindset? They never think that people will grow. So I also feel like there are certain people that have outgrown this person. Like karmically, they needed to be around this person for a certain period of time in order to kind of understand what they were dealing with. But as they grow and as they have more and more experiences with this person, naturally they want to move away from this person, because there really truly is, you're not safe around this person. You can never trust this person. Even if they come through sometimes, it's just not a guarantee that they're always going to come through and actually like do what they say. And it comes to a point with this person where being around them is self-abandonment. They won't admit that that's the case. They will call you moving away from them everything but self-abandonment, everything but sane and rational. They will say, oh, well, you know, because again, they're reactionary. They always frame themselves as the victim, but they're not an actual victim. So really their victim stance is just a reactionary stance. You were doing this, and so I did this. They never hold themselves to a standard ever. That's the difference. Like, because I think for a lot of you, this personal weaponized therapy speak, that's the difference between them and maybe yourself, or somebody who's actually like spiritual or on a self-actualizing journey, is whenever somebody else throws out like the therapy speak or whatever, they've checked themselves. They have held themselves to like the strongest of account. So when they kind of point out in these kind of maybe more technical terms or whatever, what they feel is going on, because that would be something that I think people would try with this person, because this person would just feed off of knowing that they have power over you if you come with your emotions towards this person. And this person, you know, there's been a lot of discourse in the world recently about therapy speak, because it's done a lot of harm in relationships actually as well, because therapy speak was designed, you know, to be used in therapy by people who are trained and understand what these concepts are under like a particular circumstance. The people that they were helping, that's really helped them kind of understand certain things. And so we have started to colloquialize therapy speak. There's a lot of positive things that come out of that, but one of the negative things is that it brings more and more distance here, because we're not really sharing our emotions. We're like kind of more talking about our emotions in more of a mental sort of a way. So there's like that distance here, but I feel like this is the kind of person where you're not safe to really emote, because this person would twist the knife. Or that this person would know like, okay, I've got them in some type of weakened position, and they would kick you when you're down. This is the kind of person that's going to kick you when you're down, because they're not nice. They're not nice. But I do feel like this person has gone through a period of sadness that they completely and totally misunderstand. So I feel like this person, maybe the fact that they've been made a third party, or they just don't like the fact that they are a third party, even though I just feel like it's reality. This person is really at war with reality, which is why there's just nothing you can do. But they are genuinely a third party to some type of relationship. And really the answer to their question is they need to respect that that relationship has nothing to do with them, and that they have no power over that relationship. And if they should try to exercise power over that relationship, they are the villain. The Bayou, thank you so much for the super chat. This is giving me clarity. I really appreciate this. I'm so glad, because this is like a hard person to kind of deal with. It's also like snake in the grass kind of an energy, you know, because they really kind of hide who they are. But I do feel like the door has been kind of closed, or this person does feel like they're on the outside looking in. They have had like this period of genuine sadness, and I just feel like this person would think that they are just going through it, you know. But really, I think it's just been a long time coming. And this person should have had a lot more of this feeling in their life. But again, there's something here with a child where it's like, I feel bad for anybody who has this person as a parent, because they are a dependent and they don't have any power. And this isn't somebody like, parents should love their kids. And I mean that as a verb. Like this parent, and again, if they heard me say this, they'd be like, how dare you say that I don't love my kid? And I'm talking about their actions don't reflect that love, because they would take full advantage of the fact that a child is completely dependent on them. They would try to tell them what they think. And if they operate and have any agency of thought on their own, and they don't get in line with this program that this person, I'll tell you how you think about that person. That's my enemy, that I feel like could get between the two of us and lessen my control over you. You think that they're a bad person. And if you come up with a different perspective, then you've hurt this person. They can't let you have your own sovereignty. So as a child starts to age, or a relationship, like this person will completely misunderstand this child moving away from them more and more and having a sense of self. And because this person likes to think that their opinions are objective reality. I don't know that they actually believe that so much as they feel entitled to control people. They just, remember I keep saying they mix up defensiveness and aggression. So even if you're kind of defensive, if like this, I feel like there's something here to do with this kid. But like if, like, cause this kid, I'm just kind of hearing them say like, well, actually my favorite color isn't yellow. Like you told me it has to be. And I'm seeing this mom like sitting in her yellow room or something like, what do you mean it's not yellow? You know? And it's like, well, actually, I don't know. I really like purple. And that would just, obviously I'm being like very hyperbolic, but it's that kind of a thing where, I don't know, like they misunderstand that. And they think that that child is being aggressive or something. Like, oh, well, you've backed away from everything that we've ever done or built together. But also like if a child is being defensive and they're just trying to protect what little space that they have, this is kind of, it's giving Ruby Frankie, you know, where it's like, well, I took your bed away, you know, and it's, you know, or you can't have dinner tonight as a punishment. Like, that's not a punishment, you know, that's ABUSE. Like, this person crosses the line where they are the aggressive one. And they think that they're defending themselves because this person is almost pure ego. And their ego can wear as many beads as they want. And they can go to therapy however many times, but that's just their ego. I'm a person that goes to therapy. They just want to be taken seriously when they run their mouth to somebody like a therapist or to somebody who's like a decision maker. They want to be able to control the way that things are viewed. That's the only reason they go to therapy. That's the only reason that they wear a smile and beads. That's it. But this person will project that out onto other people. They think that everybody is that way. Because this person doesn't have much empathy where they can kind of put themselves in another person's shoes. And so, yeah, if you try to defend yourself or what's yours or what, you know, what really shouldn't be allowed to be touched by this person, they will become extremely aggressive, but they'll tell you it's defensiveness. And they'll tell you that your defensiveness is misplaced and it's actually aggression. And they want other people to buy into that too, to hold you accountable, to kind of squeeze you back into a corner. And I just don't think that's working anymore for this person. I do think this person's going through some type of dark night of the soul, and it could be because somebody here is turning their back. Let me just see. Yeah, this person is receiving some type of karma. It's, again, this like door closing kind of an energy. They fake cry too. I'm not saying they're not good at it, but I'm just saying like it doesn't come from an emotional place. It comes from narcissistic injury. But this is the kind of person that doesn't know the difference because their emotions are pretty shallow and all like extremely self-centered. And there's a hypersensitivity here. Again, like they think that they're being aggressed against all the time when you just have the audacity to be your own person and other people are like, I exist separately than you. And this person's like, oh my gosh, you know, yeah. But so this person will have a narcissistic injury and they will cry and it will feel real to them. But tears like that you and I understand as coming from a place of actual hurt and sadness, no, it mostly comes from a place of wounded pride and a fear of losing control. And there is like a kind of catastrophizing of like, oh my gosh, like it's going to mean this or that. When really it just means that people exist separate from you is all it means. Yeah, this person's like in real devil energy. And this person like can be kind of impulsive, like with their defensiveness or their aggressiveness. And it's hard for me to say whether or not they regret it later because you'd have to have like the ability to self-reflect. And this is a person who can sit their ass in therapy for fucking years and not have the ability to self-reflect. And their therapist can mama bird, like chew the reflection up for them and spit it in their mouth. And still, like, they're going to, like, spit it back out. And it's like this person has, like, an allergy or something to, like, actually reflecting. They just want to win. And I think they're stuck on the outside here watching somebody transform and actually, like, bloom and blossom and be, like, really different or unique. Because they were crawling when they were around this person. And that's how this person likes it. They like when people can't really get away from them or they can't, you know, the caterpillar that can't really run too fast to get away from them. But now when the caterpillar turns into the butterfly and can actually fly away from them, that was what this person was really on a subconscious level because they can't admit who they really are to themselves or anybody else. That's what they were really kind of afraid of. They're afraid of people getting away from them. But this person won't change themselves to make themselves a nice person that people want to be around. Okay. Anything else here with this person? They're looking for some type of key because somebody here is like independent. They've gotten independent. There's like boundaries here. And this is a person who I'm just getting that they might have like some type of child here or something. I don't know. Or if this will happen in the future, but it's like there's something here, like somebody's independent and they're trying to find the key to get in. And what this person will do is they will try to ruin their independence. And that's what will make this person's anxiety go down. Because this person does have a type of anxiety. It's just delusional. It's built on delusion. It's built on an insane self-centeredness. They want to be coddled. They want to say, I have anxiety in order to be coddled. They want to tap into that. This person is like a sympathy. They feed off of sympathy as well. But this isn't really a sympathetic character. And people start to catch on to that. And I think have started to catch on to that really. That it's just about control with this person. But they want to kind of, they want to weasel their way back in. They want to maybe try to solve a problem for this person or something. They want to try to make themselves seem like they're being really helpful or that they're being attentive. It's just all on the superficial level though with this person, but they want to like get some type of key. And what they'll do is they will entirely ruin this person's independence because they want somebody here to be codependent on them. Who doesn't want to be codependent? Who actually is like, this is healthy. They want to ruin someone's health and like well-being. And that's the only thing that they think that's the only thing right now that will actually make this person's anxiety go away. And they kind of know it. But that's not the healthy way to make their anxiety go away. The healthy way is to get a different perspective on somebody being independent. And they don't want to do that. Because that would mean that this person just thinks everybody else needs to change. They're the king, don't you know? They're the king or they're the queen. And it feels wrong to them that they should have to change. It's very Ruby Frankie. Like, I'm not saying that like it's that. If you know that kind of archetype, like her kind of personality, or how she just gets on and like speaks with her full chest about like distortions and like, you know, but meanwhile there's like she got a sentence, you know, for what she was doing. It was that wrong what she was doing, you know. It's that same thing. I'm not saying that there's physical stuff going on here necessarily, but I do feel like there is like emotional ABUSIE or ABUSE. Like I just feel like there's this person is hard to be around. Very hard to be around. But this person would also be the kind of person, I guarantee you, this is the kind of person that's like, somebody must be casting magic on me. People have been shutting the door in my face. And it's like, nobody's casting magic, sweetie. Nobody's casting magic. You just suck, okay? This is just analog. It's on some analog shit. You just plain suck. Okay. Anything else? I feel like this person is feeling nervous. Part of the reason they feel nervous, and I don't know, I'm just kind of getting whatever therapy that they do, it's not going to be helpful because you have to, unless you get at this person's fixed ass mindset. You have to work on this person's fixed mindset first for anything to be, because they truly don't think that, they don't believe in anything that anything can actually really change. That's why they don't want to sit still long enough to do the work. They're desperate. There is like a desperation coming off of this person. They're just, okay, yeah, like they'll do anything, you know. There's an aspect to this person where they're like, okay, yeah, like I'll do anything that you say. They want you to just tell them what to do as well. This would be the kind of, for those of you that are readers or maybe therapists or something, you know, it's like, well, why don't you just tell me this or that? They don't understand how like karma, you're supposed to be figuring certain things out, you know, teach a man to fish and he eats for a lifetime, catch a fish for him and he eats for a day kind of thing. But this person just wants to devil energy, short term. They're just desperate to get relief in the short term. But really this person needs to stop, go through a dark night of the soul where they dig up and they start to really understand their behaviors and how it causes the repercussions that they don't want around them, and how that's not other people's fault and it's nobody doing magic on them. It is just a natural consequence. But they don't want to do that because they don't like to feel uncomfortable in that way, which I guess we all understand, but yeah. They always want the quick fix. And not only is this not a quick fix, even to do whatever like long-term therapy that this person would need, you would have to get at their fixed oriented mindset first. You would really have to uproot at the foundation, and you would have to make sure that this person knows, and they would disagree with you as well, like on a superficial level, because they don't take things down. Like they act like they do, but they don't. They don't really know like if they're doing it or not really, but they would kind of parrot that, you know, because they just want to get to where they want to get to. They just want to cross the finish line. So they're not like, even if you would take them through the program, they're not listening and like actually doing anything in earnest, you know. They either are using therapy because they want to be right and they want someone to masturbate them and stroke their ego and just tell them, oh my God, like everybody else is wrong in the world except for you. Or they know that they do need to change. And I think a lot of these people are at that point where like doors are closing on them and they're losing their grip and they're losing control and they're freaking out. And so they know that they need to change. And so if they're in that kind of reflective mode, you might think that you're getting somewhere with this person, but really they're just telling you what you want to hear because they want you to get to the big smoke that they think is actually going to change it. They don't realize that the process is the work, that actually uprooting their foundation is going to take some time, and they have to go through that like slow, painstaking work, and it can't be fake, like in order to do it. Because I think people are already suspicious of this person and they smell fake on this person. This person has been fake and they're very, again, aggressive, but then And this person, I think, has not made amends. Like, they don't apologize, or even if they do, they don't really mean it. And again, they're like, I don't know why this person doesn't want to talk to me. And it's like, I don't know. Did you call them a bitch to their face and then never apologize? Like, you know, it's playground stuff. All right, I think I'm done with this. I'm done with this. This is my dad. Please pray I can actually get out. Yeah. Boundaries. Exactly. And that's really the only way to deal with this person. And I think that especially the people in their family or the people that love them have really tried. You know, they don't want to leave this person out in the cold, but they can't keep being eroded by this person, because this is a person who refuses to give you your sovereignty. They don't allow you to exist separate than them. You can't have your own opinion. And if you have your own opinion, then you're just the devil, you know? Like it's not that, oh, I see like kind of where you're coming from. It's not that. Okay. So that was pile number 2. That was pile number 2. You can refer to me as the Lord. That's the energy there. But they'd be like, no, I'm not like that at all. See my beads? This person would have something that they can point to. And I do think for a lot of you, it's motherhood. Not that, or like fatherhood. You know, it's like, well, how can I be this? I'm a parent, and so I must have these qualities. And it's like, you busted a nut is what that means, and nothing else. So I've spoken openly about the trauma I've dealt with and I'm still dealing with, and he acts like nothing happened growing up. People smell the BS. Yeah, they definitely do. Now that you said that, I am actually getting that this person, or like these people that we're picking up on, were actually more convincing when they were younger. And that could be like when they were a child or something, but as they're getting older, they're less and less convincing. Okay, let me put some gloss on. She's very sexual too. You know, that's a way of getting people's brains to shut off. Because if your brain is on, I feel like you kind of catch on to this person. That reminded me of the Cup song, what I just tapped there. That Anna Kendrick. I got a ticket for the long way round. That could be the person like leaving. 2 bottle whiskey for the way, and I sure would like some sweet company, and I'm leaving tomorrow. What do you say? Yeah, when I'm gone, you're going to miss me when I'm gone. I feel like somebody here, like I feel like it's their kid, is planning their escape. This is so sad. I feel like this child might have known like early on, they're like counting down the days, you know, where they're like, one day, they might have like some type of big dream. They're like, one day I'm going to caravan across the country and I'm going to go to the Grand Canyon. And, you know, it's like they might have some type of like whatever they feel like freedom is, but I'm going to get free of here, you know? As a mother, it's weird. Yeah, so like you have your own kids and then like you're kind of seeing from like the other perspective. Yeah. All right. Let me booty butt this. We got to clear this out. A bunny butt, a bunny butt, bunny butt. Some people sage, and we just, you know, we use a rabbit's tail to just clear our space. One day she will leave for college. So true. Okay. We'll just spray and compassion, I guess. Everybody deserves compassion, but that doesn't mean that you have to tolerate their BS. This is very much a person too who would flip those things. You can hold boundaries, you can have all the compassion in the world, but you still get to kind of say, you still get to say like, I'm not comfortable being around you, or if you're going to do this, I'm going to leave. You know, this person wants to be the only one who gets to kind of control proceedings. And that's the only time that they feel comfortable. And I do think that comes from some type of place of trauma, but I think they may have a dependent, so it's definitely time to deal with it. Okay, pile number 3, the one. I'm actually going to do some more time here. Empathy requires boundaries, otherwise you will destroy yourself. Yes, Jess, that is so well said. Need some rose spray. Okay, so pile number 3. Who is this third party? Oh, I just knocked over that road spray. Oh my gosh. Okay. Interesting. let me try to piece this together a little more, and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking here. Okay. Who is this third party spirit? Who is this third party? I'm going to use this other deck real quick. Who's this third party? Okay. What I'm getting is like there was something here like on sight or like at first sight where the card like love at first sight kept coming out. So I feel like this third party, there was some type of maybe like, it feels like lust more than love. And like it like a determination to like get with you or get with your person. There was some type of like competitive energy. So I feel like they saw you or they saw like your person at some party. They could have seen like you guys interacting or something. And this person was like determined to, I think, sleep with like one of you. They were determined to kind of like get in between here. Who is this third party? They may have already known somebody here before. Like one of you before, either you or your person in some way. And what they saw like going on between the two of you, like made them sad, but in a cold kind of way. And this kind of like determined sort of way. And yeah, it made them feel like very defensive. I'm feeling like there's a certain feeling in my body that's just like feeling really resistant to actually like feeling the emotions here. Weirdly, I feel like this person is like kind of defensive about tarot or about like intuition, because I feel this person kind of like feeling defensive, like, whoa, like they almost just like looked right over here at me and I'm like, hey, and they were like, where did you come from? Kind of a thing. So I think this person, they really kept the hatches battled down here, like on something. So who is this third party? I think they think that somebody here is the one. I also think that they could have seen something here that wasn't true. Like their vision was like kind of blurry in some way. What did they see? Let me just see. There's something here about like something that this third party saw, and it was like a trigger, and it like they were determined here. It also could be for some of you that this was like your person. I'm not really getting that so strong, so I'm going to save that. But I feel like there's another situation that's kind of shaping up, but I'm just going to set that to the side here for a second. What did they see here? Oh, the Two of Cups. Yeah, they saw like some type of connection, some type of loving interaction. And they felt like something required further thought, which is kind of, I'm getting like a strategy sort of a vibe, because look, the Three of Swords, because this is a third party situation, and it's like, oh my gosh. And then this is my like, it was one time card. And then they're defensive. Okay, this is so strange, because I was getting a feeling that this could have, okay, I could be picking up on your person. Like somebody that you were either dating or you were actually interested in is maybe the person that I was describing, and they saw you interacting with somebody else, and they were the one having all these feelings, and they felt like something here required further thought, and maybe they set out to betray you with someone, and that's the third party. Okay, actually I feel like that's more making sense here. So I feel like your person maybe really felt like you were the one. So I don't know if you guys were dating, or because I'm getting this person wanting to kind of like approach you, but then they're sitting here thinking that, well, I got to pull back because they were seeing some type of like interaction here. And so they set out to kind of manipulate the situation. But I also think that they meant to start like to strike a match, to start some type of like competition here, like with this particular third party. So hold on here. Something's going on. Okay. So who is this third party then? Yeah, and then this person's like, well, wait, it was one time. It was one time. But like acting like whatever they did is like the main problem. But I feel like something that this person did, when you break it down into like where it was really going on here, where it's like, okay, they saw something that they didn't quite understand. They didn't get clarity on it. Instead, they just got like this like determined, cold kind of strategy, and they set out to betray you with a third party. And then this person wants to be like, what? It was one time. And it was like, but all of all the moves that you made internally, and there was more than one, there was a process that unfolded internally. You had several opportunities to do the right thing or do the same sane thing and didn't do that. So who is this third party? Okay, Queen of Wands. Okay. And then the Eight of Daggers. Okay, so this is somebody that wanted to smite you. And I think this is also, and they knew it. Like your person saw that this person that they used to betray you in some way, that they brought in as this third party, I think they knew this person had already been bad-mouthing you, or they already kind of said something negative or nasty about you, and they had like kind of clocked it. So I'm getting a sense that like your person or your partner went to somebody that they knew didn't like you. And they had already heard this person talking shit about you. They went to pursue this person. Maybe they had already slept together before. I'm also getting like there's a difference in the look of the two of you. And like I think part of what they're upset about is like your looks, the way that you look. And they were kind of determined to like frame you in a certain way and to like hurt you and to make you feel like you were a Regina George character. So I think your person saw something that they didn't understand. It was confusing. They did no healthy thing to clarify what they actually saw. They actually felt like you were the one. So then they thought, okay, wait, this is like, they thought like, okay, bet. And they set about doing some cold strategy to betray you. And then has the nerve to turn around and play innocent and be like, I'm sorry, it was just one time. That's not the problem here. Okay, there's a lot wrong with what's happened here. A lot wrong. Like things you'd be stupid to kind of like ignore. The person that they betrayed you with hates you. Okay, like doesn't like you, has said nasty things. And they gave this person a reason to go at you. And I think that they did this behind your back because there's a lot of these like swords that are like at your neck, you know, like behind the scenes. And I think kind of it feels like that was maybe part of this cold strategy is to make you feel like you're not hot shit, okay? And this guy, I'm going to say guy, but take the gender stuff like however it goes. Whoever your partner is that like set out to do this, they meant to do this. They felt some type of way. They didn't at all process their feelings. Instead, it just congealed in this cold kind of strategy that blurred their vision. And they aligned with somebody that they knew didn't like you so that this person could say something nasty, make you feel like not beautiful because they wanted to hurt you in that way, but they just didn't want to do it themselves. They want to be able to be like, this person makes excuses. They're like, what? It was one time. Well, I didn't say that. She said that. But meanwhile, this person picked that person because they knew that they didn't like you and they knew that they had a problem with you. And I don't think this person is as attractive as you are. There's like reference here to this person's like body or something like that. I don't know. So I feel like this person or they have an insecurity about it. I don't think you were ever talking about this person. I don't think that you ever were in competition with this person. And I don't think you ever did anything to this person except for exist in the way that you exist. And they kind of like turned on you. So that's the third party. They aligned with somebody that they knew did not like you. And they did it because they didn't process their emotions. They didn't ask for clarity. They didn't know how to get clarity in some type of healthy way. And because they didn't process their emotions, they just tried to ricochet that hurt. This third party runs their mouth about you. They say mean things and they say it like it's a fact, but it's not a fact. What is a fact is that there's not healthy emotional behaviors going on with this third party or with like the person that you were with. Yeah, judgment and look like the burn book. So these two talk shit about you. And it changed their destiny with this person. And now I'm kind of getting this person that I'm calling your person is maybe now a third party. Like they're on the outside looking and I just saw somebody's face pressed against like some glass. So this could be like an ex of yours or maybe something that didn't quite get off the ground because again, I'm seeing like they saw you being friendly with somebody else and that was just like a trigger for this person. So now I'm getting that person might also be a third party, like to you and to your life, or at the very least, they're like on the outside looking in and they're very curious about you and like they're pressing their face. They're trying to get some kind of clarity. That's a big theme here with this person because they didn't see something clearly before, but also like now I'm seeing them have to look through this like glass and I'm seeing their breath like fog up the glass as they're trying to look forward, as they're trying to look like through it and trying to figure out what you're doing. So it's like the way that this person is like on the inside and the way that they sort of process things or lack thereof, it clouds their vision. That this person doesn't know that they can't trust what they're seeing, but the reason they can't trust what they're seeing is because of stuff that goes on inside of them. But yeah, there's like a burn book here. So I definitely feel like there was like, they were shit talking you. They might shit talk a lot of people, but it was like really buried. I also feel like, okay. I feel like you have some type of buried treasure energy about you where I think that you're even greater than this person thought that you were in some way. Or some of you might have some like, you might have more money than this person thought that you had or something, but if they could see you clearly, like looking in, that's what they would realize. That's what they would see. And that involving this third party and navigating the way that they do, it costs them, it changed their fate line. It's kind of what I'm getting. Look, High Priestess. They had an intuition. Oh, okay, so this third party is very intuitive. And this third party actually genuinely does know better. Like whatever whatever they were saying about you is false. But you are their karma in some way. How are you their karma? Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, because regardless of how you look, I actually think this third party, regardless of how you think you look, this third party is like very intimidated by the look of you or like they're jealous about it or something. And regardless of that, like you are the higher cup here. And this is your energy as well. So what is this? The 4 of Wands. Like look at you having fun and like you don't see yourself at all the way that this third party sees you and the way that they were kind of like depicting you. And I think how they were trying to portray that their person's interest in you, it's not true. Because I think they were saying things like that. I don't know, that I think they called attention to like your attractiveness or something where it's like, I don't know, like kind of saying like, oh, well, all you are is hot kind of a thing. But they were also trying to say, I don't know. But really, I think it's this third party that's that way. But I think they view you as being more attractive. So I think it was just like a schmegsual thing between them. Like your person was like using this person in that way to try to hurt you. It wasn't that they had some type of friendship or some type of connection or this person's really quirky and it's not that. It's, they were trying to hurt you. And they knew that they could use this person to do that because this person had already said something bad about you. Anything else? Okay, now I'm getting that this third party is feeling a little bit remorseful as well. I just saw somebody shove a sock in this person's mouth. And so I feel like both of these people, I'm not really getting that they're like close really anymore. I mean, they were never close. I mean, they could have even done like schmegs. This is not a kind of closeness though. Like they're both just using each other. And it really has to do with you on both sides. Because she has a thing about you. And then he wants you, but is being weird. And so this third party, though, I feel like in some way has gotten cut out, or this burn book came out, or like the burn book is like kind of burning down. So it could be that somebody here yelled at this person. It might be one of your friends, or somebody here could have found out about this. They might not have even told you. I'm kind of hearing for some of you, this could have been like a mutual friend or something here. And out of respect for you, this friend might have not even said anything to you, but I think they could have let somebody have it here. That's for some like that. That's in some way this burn book got burnt up. It also, I'm seeing that High Priestess card again. So it could be that, again, like you're intuitive, or you come to these tarot readings, it's like come out that this person was like talking shit. Because I can see that you weren't concerned about this third party. They didn't play on your mind. You weren't fixated on them. They were fixated on you. You might have even been really shocked. You're like, I don't even know you. Why are you talking about me like that? I don't know. Something like that. And why are you acting like you're an expert on me or something? Like, I don't even know you. I don't even like you. I have no, like, you know, it's weird, but I feel like it's just jealousy, to be honest. But something's come out here about this burn book. It also could be that your person here has like actually turned on this person and said, and maybe corrected their mistake in some way and said like, I don't actually believe those things that we were talking about. I was in this fucked up state of mind. I shouldn't have used you. Because your person's in the wrong 2 times. Like, they used this other person and they shouldn't have done that. And they misunderstood about like you and somebody else. And so, but this third party, I think, has actually gotten an impression of you and they realized that they were wrong. Like the way that they were viewing you was actually wrong. They're realizing that you're actually quite humble and that you're actually really sweet and that you're not a mean girl and you don't believe in the plastics and that you're trying to lead by example by like sitting down, you know, and like these 3 like with their hand on their hip and their crown. And you're like, we don't need to do all that. We can just like, you're making your body language very non-threatening. I think that's also another thing that they think about is like, they were so obsessed with your body, but I think like with your body language and the way that you were kind of using your body, it's very non-threatening. Like, I don't think that you were trying to compete with this person. You weren't trying to rub it. And like, even if you had been working out and like, you know, looking good and eating all your protein and stuff, like, I don't think that you were trying to like rub it in this person's face or something. Like, I just don't think that's true. Yeah, there was like some type of sneaking around here. I just feel like there was a lot of shit talking. I'm kind of getting that this person was like, I don't think this third party was a friend of yours. Obviously. They could have been in your broader friend group if you did know them at all, but I think that they mix in with your friends, if that makes sense. And I think that they like kind of look at you online because they have a fixation, and they definitely did, and your person clocked it. Look, they're sorry. They want to take responsibility here. So this third party, I think, knows that they were wrong. I think they got called out. I think it might have been like somebody yelled at this person and was like, what are you doing? You know, somebody here took whatever insult they had and they like flipped it on its head kind of thing. And it put this third party like back. They did snap into reality. So I think this person does want to take responsibility here. They could have told a lie here. They could have started a rumor. Just to kind of get you to stumble and fall, or to get somebody here, this King of Pentacles. And it could be like, maybe that's your person. They're not really coming through in King of Pentacles energy. Or it could have been even like a boss or something. This person could have like tried to smear your name even at work in order to get you to like spill your coffee all over yourself, or like, or maybe you were like having a really bad day, you know, Miss Norberry in Mean Girls, how she's like, well, she just got divorced and, you know, she's having a bad year, you know, and this person is exacerbating the situation. These 2 people are exacerbating the situation. You're not treated, you know, kindly. It's like every single thing that you do was like picked at. I'm not getting a lot out of this. Like, I feel like we just kind of keep honing in. They're not being specific. And that might be because I'm reading for a lot of people and the insults that they were slinging are like very specific. But I do think it was like body related. It was like, I don't know, very accusational. And it's coming through here in like these kind of stilted, like, it's not like coming through very smooth. And so I feel like maybe it was just like maybe in passing, like little just kind of like remarks, you know? But also, look, this person is like, they feel really cut out. Also, this person has done something weird. And they also, that could have come out. Okay, a big secret of theirs may have come out. And that is genuinely weird. Like, this person was like trying to make you seem weird or something. And this person is now kind of like on the defense. I don't know. They could have gotten karma for what they did to you. But I also just feel that this third party does have some level of remorse here. And they're kind of maybe wary of you, you know, because they know that what they did was like bad. They know that they were in some type of devil energy. They wanted to believe that you were the mean girl so bad. They wanted to believe that you were Regina George so bad. Because they were just really emotional. That's what this third party is saying, okay? So now, okay, I'm starting to soften my energy towards this third party because now they're speaking like a human. And now they're being honest about like what was going on for them internally. So they're saying that they were just feeling like very emotional. They were in a very like, you know, like, look, out of control, like just emotionally unstable, out of control kind of place. I don't know what was going on in their life, but that caused them to project outward something onto you and create some type of illusion or fantasy. And they're saying like they should have seen the situation differently. Yeah. They caused some type of like painful ending. This person could have turned your friends against you for some. Or like your friends were kind of like a part of this. I guess for some of you, this person could have been a friend. Look, this is this person. It's like the spotlight is kind of on this person, but also I feel like this is now your person. Your person wants a new beginning. And I'm just noticing like this is the Ace of Wands, and this burn book is like on fire. Because I was kind of getting that it could have been your person in order to try and like suck the poison out. That's a quote at the end of Mean Girls. If you get bit by a snake, you have to suck the poison out, which by the way, you should never do. But like this person metaphorically feels like they have to suck the poison out of the situation. So it could even be that your person has been alone, has been spending some time alone, has been doing that inner reflection, and has like gone back and burned down the burn book, so to speak. And that is what kind of has this third party reflecting as well. I feel like, yeah, there's kind of this like maybe wanting to make amends or say sorry, like from this person. How does this third party feel about your person? Because your person used them as well. How do they feel about that? Hold on. How do they feel about that? Dare I say I'm starting to like this person a little bit. They're saying that they're kind of giving me the impression of themselves as like a nerd, and that something needed to change within themselves. They're just kind of throwing their hands up and they're like, I mean, like, oh, maybe they're saying that they felt like a nerd and that something here needed to change for them. And they're saying that they learned a lot, and then look, this card came out. Oh, what is it? It's the 7 of Cups. So they were like very confused. And this is the scene where that lady, it's like, she doesn't even go here. So this person's like, well, I didn't even go there. Like I was like, I think this third party feels like there's somebody that's the one for them, or like there was a pathway that was kind of fuzzy for them to find their own pathway. So they're actually being kind of honorable and like very nice and human. They're just kind of owning up to it, actually. This third party is just sort of owning it. Okay, I'm getting the sensation of like ears are burning, like your ears are burning. So I think maybe somebody was talking about this person and their ears were burning. They could have heard something here. It could have even been like a movie or maybe in a tarot reading or something. And they were hearing themselves in what somebody was saying. And they were like, oh my gosh, that's me. I'm hearing that that's me. Their ears were burning. I bust shots. Don't duck if it don't apply. And this person's like, oh, that applies to me. And this third party actually did do some self-reflection, which is separate from pile number 2. This person actually has done the work. They want to say that they want to say that they're sorry, but also this person wants to say that you are the higher cup. They also, I think, want to say that you're the winner in some way. Like this person, I think, wanted to compete with you. And I think this person, in order to suck that poison out, wants to be like, you're the winner and you were better than me in every way. Like, I feel like this person tried to squeeze you out of your social group or something, because they're saying that they didn't go here. They were trying to fit themselves into a place where they didn't go. They had no business being in there. They thought that something here was maybe an option for them, or they were just like really confused. And so they were kind of like sneaking around here. But I think this person wants to be like, you're great. And I'm hearing like, you're better than me. Like as a person, like you're better than me. Look what I did. Like this is somebody who is kind of owning their shit here. Yeah. They also could have seen something and not seen it clearly as well, but this is more coming through like maybe that they misinterpreted what you did, but also like what was being said about you or something. Yeah. I think that your person may have told them that they rejected you or something. And they were actually defensive when they were listening to that. But they also wanted to believe it because they had just invested so much in like disliking you or something. Or maybe this third party was sleeping with your person before, or they already had like some type of interlude. I don't know. It's like they wanted to believe it, but they're saying that they knew it wasn't true and that they were kind of like defensive, but they still like went along with it. So yeah, I'm kind of getting that your person said that they like rejected you or something, but really your person like lacks inner strength and wanted to start this like fight or argument here. So, okay. Because I remember I was asking them what they thought about your person. So they're saying they didn't see that person clearly because of their own defensiveness. And that they were sneaking around. That they didn't see that your person was like kind of sneaking around. Trying to cause a tower for you. They're saying the wires got crossed like in communication. So I am, again, getting that like kind of, I feel like people are talking about you, and also not in exactly a way of like talking shit, but I feel like people were just talking about you. And I feel like wires kind of got crossed because this person was seeing through their own, like just being jealous of you or like not liking you or something like that. This person's saying that they had some growing up to do, but I think this person's also saying that they are growing up, that they have matured quite a lot, and that there could have been something here about like partying and drinking where they were like, well, I was really affected. I was like kind of delusional because I was like drinking a lot, you know, like, so I literally wasn't sober for a long period of time. So when people would tell me untruths, I didn't really have all my mental faculties to kind of like, you know, I think they're also, I don't know, there's something here about maybe you being at a party or something where somebody is saying like, I was also at a party or something like, but I was looking at you a certain way. Like, I don't know, when they're saying you were really the Queen of Cups, like you actually showed a lot of maturity. And despite what was going on here, you, I think, have inspired this person because the Queen of Cups, my big thing with her is that she always has like a lid on her cup. She's the only court card that has her own lid. So she is like contained in her emotions. And she doesn't allow other people's like stuff to kind of dictate her emotions. So I think despite all of this, I think you were extremely calm. You're very level-headed, You didn't lash out at this person. And it showed a level of maturity. And I think this person is saying that they have that now. They have like more of a maturity, and that they've seen clearly this kind of King of Wands. They do see that like your person played them and like had some type of strategy here because he felt dejected in some way. Because he wanted like to offer you something, or he wanted a new beginning. They can see that you're really a sweet person and that you're really a good person, and that there was just a lot of anxiety here, and that it was this kind of lash out betrayal energy instead of the cups energy, like the more emotional energy. So I feel like we're actually making some progress here with this third party. It feels almost like I can feel the energy sort of moving. I think some of these people feel like they won't get the chance to like apologize in the physical, but they do want to come through. Again, they're showing me like a radio signal or something. It's kind of like coming in and out. So this person is like starting to understand. It kind of comes in and out. They are still like very timid, but they are willing to own it. I mean, this person is willing to own it. Okay, anything else? I feel like there was something here that was laid out for this person. Like, see the chalkboard here where it was like this. Like, it was just laid out in a way that was like plain English, and this person could not argue with it. And that was a real tower moment for this person. Something was like really laid out. They do feel uncomfortable around you because they want to kind of clear the air. Like, hey, but I think this person thought that you should apologize to them for a while for some reason, but okay. Anything else? Anything else about this third party? Okay, this third party is feeling very remorseful because they were two-faced around you. And they recognize now that that was their mind that was like projecting that. And so they were two-faced around you, but they were projecting that you were a mean girl and that you were two-faced. And possibly that you had like options, or that you were juggling here. And it's because this person kind of like felt alone, or they were scared to be like left on their own. And yeah, so remember the scene where it's like, oh my God, I love that skirt. Where'd you get it? You know, but it's that mean girl two-faced. And then she walks away and she's like, that's the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen. You know, it's like, I feel like this person did that kind of shit to you. Was like, you were nice and lovely, genuinely. And you weren't in competition with this person. You didn't have this like kind of stank attitude. But this person, you'd walk away and they'd be like, "Nyeh, nyeh, 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 nyeh." And then your person would be like, oh my God, you're the good person in this scenario. And so am I. And she'd be like, oh my God, we are the good person in this scenario. And they actually like believed that. There was a plan here. This is a bit, what is this energy? I don't exactly like that energy that's coming through. Hold on. What is this plan? Hold on. Who is this? Okay, so there could be another third party here that like your person like is now with, and that's not exactly like the greatest person. That also could have been some kind of karma even for both of them, because I feel like maybe he's in like a bad situation. There is some type of plan here for this third party to like apologize so that maybe the two of you can be together, or possibly I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. There's a little bit of an untrustworthy energy that's coming through, but not much. And I don't think it's for everybody, but it could be that, what is this? Let me just interrogate this. Remember I said I interrogate the card sometimes? Who is this that's really coming through, Spirit? Let me just see. They're running from me. Hold on. Who is this person that's coming through? Who is this? Okay. So I feel like it's your person that's coming through. There's like a fear of authenticity, a fear of taking action. There's a lot of fear that's coming through because of this like manipulation energy. I was kind of getting that like something about this third party. I don't know. I feel like your person's energy that came, this is what I'll say about this. I would still have my guard up just because the energy that your person came through at first, like that set off this entire situation, I haven't really gotten much about that. I don't really know that the underlying issue has changed, because that's like actually a big deal. It's something that looks like it's a single thing. Like, oh, like there was this one situation and he brought in this third party in order to like make me jealous. No, there was a lot of things, and each one of those things was a big thing. And it says a lot about this person. That they saw something not clearly, they didn't clarify or do anything that resembled maturity at all. Instead, they set out in this like kind of cold, I'm not feeling my emotions. There's a cold strategy to betray you with this person. And it's almost your person's energy that I feel like is kind of coming through here in a way to like say sorry or make amends. And there's like, they still have this like determination energy. So what is this determination? Because I'm getting that this person that was like your person in the past, I feel like this is an ex energy. Like now they're on the outside looking in. They are like the third party energy here. They're determined to what, Spirit? Look, force sin, cunning, the dark side of a human. Farewell. So they might be trying to get in between. Oh my gosh, remember that's what I was saying at the beginning. So they saw something here. They didn't see it like quite clearly, and they were trying to kind of get in between. That was your person's energy. And remember, I was like, I think this is your person's energy. I caught that like pretty much at first. So I feel like you're moving on. They feel like you're the one for some reason. They feel like you're the one that got away, I think, because of like their behavior. And they're wanting to kind of like get in between, I think, you and your destiny, or like you and another person. Look, masquerade ball, night of passion, embracing a whole new identity. And they want to overcome the obstacles here. But that last bit, don't take that if it doesn't resonate. I feel like that's coming through for some. I'm starting to get an uneasy feeling in this. Like maybe I just want to put this down because I don't want to be like led up the garden path or anything here by this person who is extremely manipulative. By the way, when stuff like this comes through in the reading, it's not the reading that's confused. It's the person that I'm tapped into. I had somebody send me a message that was a bit confused about that, but that's what happens when you're tapping into people like this. Look. Who is this person that's coming through? Yeah, I hurt you by letting you go. I love you. I feel like it's your person that's coming through. Why is this person coming through in a third party reading? Because they're the third party, I think. Look, Netflix and chill and gossip. Sneaking around, friends with benefits, spending time with someone else. Yeah, and they were gossiping. So this was what was going on here. They were spending time with somebody else. They were friends with benefits situation, sneaking around, and they were gossiping about you. Okay. Guidance. They're saying I was trying to get guidance about what? Fated meeting. I think this person feels like they fumbled the ball, that they had some type of fated meeting with you. And I don't doubt that. But then like, okay, a meeting can be fated, but then your actions, your choices determine the outcome there. Secret crush. I feel like this person has a secret crush on you. But also they knew that this person that they selected had a secret crush on them and also didn't like you. They're saying that they lost themselves for a little while. I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. Okay, all of this seems like really hollow, and I'm really not interested in having a conversation with this person who crashed in on this third party reading. Although I think this person maybe is wanting to be a third party in your life, or so was everything that third party said true? King of Wands. He's trying to clear the air. He's trying to open up a conversation. And then, yeah, drop some type of like tower here about like the past. And just so you know, this guy, with whoever this friends with benefit situation was, so maybe they were friends. He knew this person liked him. He knew that they didn't like you. Maybe they already had a friends with benefit situation going. Just so you know, he's been talking about her. Like he's been talking smack about her. He kind of insults her. Like he's kind of saying like, I didn't really like her, but she liked me. You know, he's saying that stuff about her too. So it's a pattern in this person where like he'll just say whatever he needs to say. He's very manipulative. This is just a very manipulative person. Okay, so I'm not going any further into that. That was pile number 3, and we'll just move on to the general messages. I pray he just leaves me alone. Yeah. Okay. I feel like I keep looking down at this turn your back energy. I feel like this has also been an anchor card because it's come out in every reading. Like this came out obviously strong in the first reading, but then I reference it in the second reading and I'm referencing it now in the third reading. Which I guess makes sense for a third party reading. Okay, so I'm just going to have a sip here. Compassion. Okay. So what wants to come through, Spirit? I'm actually reaching for this What's the Gossip deck. And sometimes pile number 3 leaks over, but I'm just going to go with this because this is like kind of an eclectic deck. So what wants to come through, Spirit? New energy. Doesn't have to be related to the reading at all. What wants to come through? Actually, I'm not using this. I'm using... What general messages do you have for us, Spirit? What do you want to talk to us about? What do you want to talk to us about, Spirit? New energy. Okay, well, Spirit is reassuring you that for those of you with pile 3, that they're moving you away from this person. Like something happened in the way that it needed to get away from this person. This person has like a strong energy towards you. They're trying to get you like back. They're a very manipulative person. But Spirit is just coming through to say like that something needed to change here in this dynamic. So whatever happened that was like sudden and it got that out. Like if you're thinking about that still, like from pile number 3, that's like a whole holdover where you're like, I just really want to get away from this person. Spirit is helping you to get away from this person. Okay. But let's get an actual message here. Okay, Spirit, new energy. What situation do you want to talk to us about? It could be anything. Okay, so you are very strong, and I feel like Spirit is reminding you of this, and you are very confident and you're very unique, and there's something here about your speech or communication that makes a difference here, and it's possibly been able to like ward off some kind of disaster from happening, like your mental processes being able to kind of piece together certain patterns, and like maybe you're quick at it or you're getting quicker and quicker at like figuring out like certain patterns, and maybe you're able to speak to certain patterns in a way that is really, really helpful in shining the light on something. And that's helping you break some type of a karmic cycle, but it is breaking it through anger and through that kind of fire energy. It's like charging up like a lot of energy here, and just like having some type of clean break and being able to cast like healthy judgment. But in order for that to happen, I feel like something here needed to be like subsumed and unearthed, and you had to be able to detect these patterns. But as I'm saying, like the patterns that you've been able to recognize is Pluto energy. Like you've been able to kind of realize when somebody's hiding something, or when they're maneuvering, or when they're being strategic with you, or when they're leaving certain things out, or when they have a secret desire for some type of like power or schmegs or money, or that they're trying to cause you like harm in some type of way. You've been able to kind of like deduce these patterns, and it is like really lighting up your mind in some type of way. And I feel like they're getting you online to really make the magic happen. And I feel like this has to do with some type of like manifestation, but there was some type of blockage in the mind. But when I'm saying the mind, I mean like the Mercury mind, the fact-finding mind, the again, like the piecing together of patterns, but also like this like kind of problem solving mind, somehow getting that like up and running, or like working to its fullest capability. There's like a period of growth and abundance, and it might be almost like otherworldly seeming, but like you're able to kind of actually manifest your own self or your own future. Whereas I feel like there's like this kind of energy that's been around you that has been trying to hold you back. It's been like a suck on your energy or a drain on your energy in a way that you didn't quite understand, but that's what they're helping you to work through. And you've made like a lot of progress. You are the Empress. And like I said, things are going to grow. And this has something to do with stability, because I feel like as the Pluto energy, whether that was like the partner, like say from pile number 3, or like these third parties that have kind of, been around, it feels just really undermining. And anything that you were going to build, it would always be at risk of being taken over by somebody else, sabotaged, for whatever, because it was your source of power. There's something here that like you're building. It's of you with this like strength energy. It's very unique to you or something. And it's like very much a source of your own power. And I feel like people here were maybe trying to take that or sabotage that, like for their own, for their own sense of power. And I think this is maybe a pattern that's played out in past lifetimes. And with this Gemini energy coming through, I feel like you're probably a very social group. Like you really like people. You'll talk to anybody, kind of person. But I think sometimes that you can have people that don't always want the best for you, that are drawn into your beautiful energy as well. And it's always like very shocking. But I feel like Spirit is saying, look, what Spirit is saying is, look, this has been a big process. Like they're just acknowledging here, you've been through a lot. I feel like you've had to face some really terrifying things that there's probably a reason you didn't want to see it. And I think for some of you, as you've been working through things, you're like, oh my gosh, how could I not have seen that before? Because it's so obvious now, like hindsight is 2020 kind of a thing. Or now that you've gotten free, and like the way that your life feels now, it's so different to the way that it was in the past, where you're like, I wish that I would have left sooner, or I wish that I would have figured this out sooner, but everything in its own time. And this was huge. Like whatever this kind of karmic cycle was really, really huge to like unearth and subsume and like rise to the surface. So Spirit is like just acknowledging the work that's gone into that, and saying like, you're not going to feel any more pain. Like this process will be a complete process. And that's what they are kind of like working you towards. And interesting. You may have had a choice here And I think for a lot of you, you've just decided to turn away from it. You've made some type of decision because the choice involved the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. So some type of couple where maybe you would have gotten what you wanted out of this couple, but it's like maybe you were really attracted to this person. They were really attracted to you. It was like a very sexual connection. It looked a certain way to the outside. But I think that you have kind of realized the sabotaging nature of this person, like, or this kind of energy that was around you, because it does like have kind of a hunger for you, which might be kind of like flattering in a certain way, but it doesn't like feed your soul or something like that. But I feel like you've either, because you've developed these patterns, I just feel like there was a stumbling block, like a crossroads that you've in your past lives, in this life, you would stumble at the crossroads. You know, you kind of go in for this person or this kind of relationship or something because it felt intense, I think is maybe the right word. And there is a kind of gratification that's coming through there, but you are working, you're working through this. Yeah, at first I think you were very defensive of the truth. Like it made you feel kind of defensive, and maybe you wanted to block it out. You didn't want to see it because it hurt your heart. And I think you have a beautiful heart, like a very loving heart. And that's what allowed this energy to kind of get in. And I think maybe even like the fire energy, and like when you kind of realize what was going on, or this is at least the road in front of you, if this hasn't already played out, it's like you kind of got mad, you put up some type of blockage or an obstacle, and that's what's like opening up some type of new path or new destiny. And I feel like you do have like some type of beautiful new beginning. And Spirit is with you with this. And I feel like Spirit has just showed itself to me in two different forms. One was a tiny little bluebird that was kind of singing to you when you were like kind of feeling down and out. And you were probably very confused by that because you thought that you had a lot of love for this person. But this person had this kind of undermining quality or something, or there was a lot of truth that you didn't have. And so Spirit was kind of singing you a beautiful little song, trying to get your attention. But Spirit, like its end form in this situation, as it's your guide, is, which I just pictured like Mushu from Mulan, you know, like the different guides, and they're like, which guide should accompany Mulan? Like, should it be the most fearsome of all, or should it be the most wise of all, or should it, you know? But so I feel like it was this tiny little bluebird. It was very non-threatening. It sang you kind of a cute little non-threatening little song. Bluebirds are very territorial as well. So I'm kind of getting something here that like something is your territory. That like Spirit gave you the knowledge that something was your territory. And in that card, her dress was blue as well. So I feel like maybe it was like your body is your territory, you know, or something here. Like you have a right to say this or that about like your body. Or something, or maybe like your immediate space, like around you. But Spirit's end form is the dragon, and your end form, you're gonna totally have transformed. It's just like Cinderella, you know, when she's changes out of her rags into her like beautiful gown. But this feels like very permanent, and the change is more like you standing in your confidence, your power. Because there's something about this relationship. It could have started off very fiery, actually, between the two of you. You felt very confident. You felt very sexy with this person. But after being with this person, it kind of eroded your confidence. It eroded your self-esteem. Or this is what Spirit was trying to help you avoid, was a kind of connection like that, even though it was very alluring. It was very like, you know, maybe you guys like really hit it off, or there was a lot of banter or something. But this person is very strategic. And I think, again, you didn't have the truth about something here. And so more and more, I think you went without. Like you went without love, time, attention. You went without maybe getting like new things or something, because maybe you're always trying to make this stuff work for the kids. But meanwhile, this person was maybe spending money on this or that. I don't know. But you were like in a weakened state, and Spirit came in to kind of like sing you a certain song. And it's leading to this actual lover's energy. It's leading to a genuine soulmate kind of energy. And it's blowing up this energy that I think was built on favoritism. Because it's like you were the favorite of this person and they were your favorite. And that felt like love, I think, at the time. And maybe, but I do think that there was this kind of naivete almost. Like, it's like this person sang you a beautiful song or something, and there was like a naivete. Yeah. And yeah, this person could have like, I'm seeing you have the higher ground, but like this person, yeah, you could have, I don't know. But this is, Spirit is like with you and helping you move through your strength. Spirit is letting you know that there is somebody that's still trying to kind of come back and get back in. I think you've started this person on their journey, because weirdly I feel like the two of you might be soulmates, but it's like something needed to change is what Spirit's saying. This had to level up. There were some negative patterns that were playing out, and I'm hearing myself say in other readings like, okay, so this person has the fire energy, right? And this person needs to progress, and they need to start working on some other energy, some other suits, and earth energies always follow the fire energies. So this person, I'm hearing myself say like, you need more stability, like that earthy energy, and for things to grow, because the fire will go across, it'll, if you do a controlled burn or something, that is what really makes that field kind of come to life. And I'm seeing your person in a manipulative mindset set out, cloak themselves to go like down a more of an earthy road so that they can like have the thing that they need to have to lure you back, which is this kind of pentacle. But I actually think this is spirit sort of tricking this person. It's like spirit is hot dog pilling this person. If you have to like give medicine to your dog and you stick the pill in a hot dog, it's like spirit has kind of done that with you because you got away, you got yourself free. And then this person's like, I don't want to lose that person, and they're like kind of trying to go on their little like manipulative journey, but spirit's almost tricking them into like doing the work. I think that's kind of what's happening. Spirit's going to trick this person into some type of teamwork because ahead of them on the journey, they've got some type of Three of Pentacles energy. So I think this is going to be like, it's an actual place. So it could be a work environment, but it doesn't quite feel like that. It feels just like, it almost feels like a town, like a little town. It's a quiet village. Every day like the one before. I feel like this person, there's some kind of like place that they're gonna go, and it's like cooperative and like it's teamwork, and they are working on that kind of earthy energy, but I feel like it's spirit is working with them in some type of way. Yeah, to kind of uncover the truth. To uncover the truth. And then that's going to push them into the water suit. So spirit is helping this person kind of get a little bit more well-rounded, but they look like perturbed that you've gotten away for a lot of this period of time. Okay, anything else that wants to come out? Yeah, because there's karmas here that needs to be balanced out. And so that's why you guys are separate at this time, and probably for the rest of this lifetime and probably others after this, like in order to kind of like balance these things out. But just so you know, okay, so some of you, I'm getting it. So some of you are asking like, well, why is this person like following me? Like I really want to get away from them. And you are getting away from them and you are protected, but spirit is using you as bait. Spirit's like, you want to come get this? And it's real. Like, I think it'll be real, but not until this person's fully healed and safe. Like many lifetimes down the road is kind of what I'm getting. But Spirit's kind of using you as bait. If some of you are like, maybe you've prayed and asked your guides and you're like, shut this person out. And they're like, well, we will, but we need to get this person a little bit more on the road. I'm hearing they're waiting for it to take. Because they want for this person to generate their own momentum on this. Like once they feel how good it feels to actually be a good person, to do the right thing, to be cooperative, it'll generate their own momentum. But until then, I feel like you are just a big motivator for this person, like even energetically. And they think that they're being manipulative, and they're kind of using that against this person to almost manipulate them into actually doing the right thing. And then it's just going to become some type of routine for this person, and they'll be able to make their own way then. And then you guys will like fully be separate here. Yeah. Okay. So that was very specific. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave that there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for spending your Friday with me. We have a From the Vault reading on Patreon tomorrow. And yeah, I think that's all I have. I always forget if I have anything else that I want to kind of say, but, yeah, that's what I have. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you when I see you. Bye, guys.